When Orlando meets Chicago, always plenty to remember.
So thumbs up, everybody, and get pumped up. It's the Arena Football League. The Predators and the Rush coming up next. From Allstate Arena in the Chicago suburbs, your Orlando Predators come on in tonight with a record of 3-1. The Chicago Rush, well, they're dinged up a little bit now, 2-2 after a disappointing loss in Columbus. Along with Gary Reasons, I'm Josh Lewin, and welcome to AFL football. I would say a mild disappointment would probably be underselling it if you're Chicago. They went to Columbus. It did not go well.
Well, a team that hadn't won a game before Columbus, they lost to that football team. And problems at quarterback, I think, is really what the cause was, because they lost their starting quarterback, Raymond Filia, on that ball game in the third quarter. Went out with a sprained MCL, so question mark whether he was going to be able to play tonight. Mike Hohenty, the head coach, didn't know until Tuesday that he'd be playing tonight. But he's got all the tools. He's a quarterback that can get the ball around the arena here and get out to a lot of great players. He has to play well for the Chicago team to do well tonight. And one of the reasons I think that's going to be challenging for him, because his number one go-to guy is a two Molden, and Atu is going to have to play the offensive specialist position. He's normally one of the best wide receiver linebackers in the league.
As for Orlando, they've also got some adjustments to make, but they've got their quarterback in there, and that's good news too.
Well, Joe Hamilton, the guy, he's a guy that's got a lot of tools. He's a young quarterback in this league, but he had some trouble last week against the Desperados. Hey, there was a fierce pass rush that he faced, but he's going to try to right the ship here. Now, they've got some problems on offense as well. We'll talk about the changes with their receivers.
Yeah, both these teams are missing key parts tonight, but both of them desperately need a win in Week 5 of the AFL season. Coming to you from Chicago tonight, and Orlando with the energetic Jay Gruden trying to lead the Predators to a win against the Rush when we come back.
Ready for a more exciting fantasy football experience? AFL Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Log on to AFLFantasy.com for a chance to win weekly and season-long cash prizes. More yards. More scoring. More excitement. AFL Fantasy Football, powered by Sandbox. Sign up and get in on the action.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
This free DVD shows you how Bowflex's Tread Climber lets you burn calories in half the time it takes on other equipment. Call for yours right now. You need to see this free DVD. Tread Climber lets me get an amazingly effective cardio workout in 30 minutes. It's quick, it's easy, and it makes me feel great. And it's compact enough to fit anywhere in my home. Tread Climber combines the walking action of a treadmill with the stepping movement of an elliptical. It's really easy to do. It feels sort of like walking in sand. Plus, it's low impact, which keeps my knees feeling great. I know I've got to take care of myself now if I want to look younger and feel younger. If you're like us, you'll never want to waste your time on a treadmill again. Tread Climber simply produces results. Call right now for your free DVD. It shows you why the Bowflex Tread Climber burns calories and works your heart faster and easier than any other cardio product on the market today.
In Chicago, and the Rush without one of their key components tonight. No Henry Douglas in the lineup for Coach Mike Hohenty, but then again for Orlando, no Corey Fleming. He is out with a bad hamstring, and normally those are two guys that I would think right off the top, Gary, we'd be singing their praises and telling you to watch out for those two guys. They're not here.
Well, Josh, arena football is all about production. And those two players you talked about, Corey Fleming and Henry Douglas, both have been very productive for each of their football teams, but not going to be able to go tonight because of injury. So there's definitely changes in the works here for both these teams.
And it's a great opportunity for both sides to have somebody step up that has not done that before. Jay Gruden has made a couple of very interesting maneuvers before this game tonight. I think the most interesting one probably sitting Travis McGriff. He's going to let some other people get in there, Jimmy Frizzell most notably.
Well, Travis McGriff, he had a mild concussion last week in that football game, and you know, Jimmy Frizzell's going to get his chance to start for the first time ever in the Arena Football League. He's a rookie to the league, so it'll be interesting to see how well he plays tonight for this football team for Orlando.
And the other change you'll notice if you're an Orlando fan right off the jump here tonight, Jarian James will be inserted into the lineup, and he'll be receiving this kick from Keith Gisbert. Now, we have not seen Jarian James at all this year. He's seeing his first action tonight as an AFL player, rookie out of Houston.
Yeah, he played last year in the for the Tennessee Valley Vipers in the AF2, so he's got arena experience, but just at the other league.
And here he comes as we are underway from Chicago. And slithering out near the 13-yard line, Jarian James. Orlando will get it going from there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a physical game, Josh, because both these teams, they played 2 times last year in Orlando. Both times they fell to the rush. The rush took care of them pretty well, and it's going to be a physical ball game. They actually knocked the quarterback, Joe Hamilton, out of the game last year.
And as you look at the Orlando side of the football here, they have won 10 of their last 12 regular season games going back to last year. One of the 2 losses, though, that was last week at Dallas. Frizzell, the new guy, in motion. They go to him right away, and he slips a tackle. Out of the University of Central Florida, Jimmy Frizzell. And he was in camp with the Chicago Bears last year, so some of the Bears fans that are paying attention might know who that is.
Well, he's got tools as a receiver. You see him outstretched there now. Just get the break through the tackle of Jeroy Johnson, number 5, the defensive specialist who's covering him, and that's a good start for Joe Hamilton and the Predators.
It's a 19-yard pickup. And the Predators, who are only 13th in offense in this league right now. Again, Frizzell, the man in motion. Hamilton floats it incomplete. Let's check out our Health South starting lineups for Jay Gruden's Orlando Predators. Again, they're in at 3-1. And those chut-chut changes, Mr. Reasons. Frizzell and Skaggs in there.
Well, Skaggs is so new to the system, we don't have a picture of him. So that's good news. We're going to have a chance to see him play. He played well last week against Dallas. And up front here, this offensive front, they had some trouble against the Desperados, allowed 4 sacks. So Jay Gruden really worked with his football team to try to straighten that out this week. A lot of pressure on that offensive front to protect Joe Hamilton.
Skaggs going wide right. Marlon Moye-Moore in the game, and he's playing for the first time this year. Number 9 out of the backfield. Hamilton guns it to Skaggs. And a pretty nice hit right there, denying further maneuverability from Justin Skaggs. Health South also presenting the Chicago defense. And Jeroy Johnson getting a chance as a defensive specialist in this one. Moyer, the guy to watch up front. As always, traditional strength with this Chicago team as their line play.
Yeah, he's got a good motor. He gets around the corner very well. He's 30 career sacks. Got a big guy up there. He can get around that edge. He'll want to put pressure on Hamilton.
On 3rd and 5. Hamilton looking for Frizzell. Now they're looking for the flag, and here it comes.
Well, they may have Jeroy Johnson on. A little bit more contact beyond the 5-yard line. Frizzell, a physical receiver, came off line of scrimmage, Josh, and really ran right into Jeroy Johnson. But Johnson just kind of hung on. If you watch on the left side of your screen, Hamilton's going to throw the football on the contact right around the goal line. He tackles him before the ball gets there. I think that's a good call by the back judge.
Automatic first down. Tom McCabe is your head man, your referee in this one. And really right out of the gate here, they're looking to establish Frizzell.
Well, Frizzell's that offensive specialist. He's going to do that role this week. Henry Douglas out of there. So the offensive specialist, the man who usually is in high motion coming down the line of scrimmage, is the featured player in the offense, and he just has to be very productive.
Hamilton rolling. Hamilton in. The touchdown for Orlando.
Well, that's the dimension that Joe Hamilton brings to the football team. His running ability and getting outside around the corner. Fake inside to his fullback. And everybody goes with Moyer inside, and Joe Hamilton around the edge, which he did many times for the Georgia Tech Bulldogs, and knows how to get in that end zone.
That's in many ways why he was a Heisman runner-up as a senior at Georgia Tech. Not so much what he did with his legs, or his arm, I should say, but what he also can do with those legs.
Well, I think Jay Gruden thinks he has the complete package, and he likes what he is as a second-year player in this league.
Gowan's up and in with the extra point. It's Orlando on top 7-0 here in Chicago.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will finally be able to relax!
A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Plus save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT, always there.
What? That was offside! Face mask! First down! Way to go, baby! Oh, go for two. Blitz. Get out. Time out! Come out! Time out! He's all over him. Interference. Right in his hand! Oh.
So glad I'm not playing anymore.
Touchdown! Yes!
Every armchair quarterback needs a high-definition widescreen projection TV monitor. Aaron's has a great selection at the guaranteed lowest price.
Game over? Game over?
What?
Mondays, I'm a god amongst men. Wednesdays, I completely dominate. My skills have no equal. And Fridays, I can't be stopped. I'm the king. I just wish Tuesdays and Thursdays were the same.
No Limit Texas Hold'em every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Hollywood Greyhound. It's big stakes poker plus Greyhound racing nightly. Your week just got a whole lot brighter with Hollywood Greyhound.
I'm here with Joe Hamilton, who just scored the first touchdown for the Predators. Joe, tell me about that first drive.
Well, anytime you get a first drive in a hostile territory, hostile environment like we are in now, it's good to come out with a score. We executed pretty well on that first drive, and hopefully we can keep it going the rest of the game.
How important was it for you to get off to a good start here in Chicago?
That's very important. Last two times we played, I don't think we got off to a good start. I thought we came out flat. But today, I think we were more ready to play, and it's a big game for us coming off a loss. So I look to keep it going, hopefully.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Joe.
Thank you.
Josh and Gary, back to you.
All right, Jeff Friedman down there for us. Thank you very much, Jeff. And indeed, a score to settle for Orlando against Chicago. Orlando's season ended here last year in the playoffs, and in the regular season, Chicago handing Orlando its worst loss in franchise history, 58-15.
Really wasn't good for that football team, and I know that they took that to heart. And just talking to Joe Hamilton, he's got a lot of confidence, and he's exuding that right now with his football team. Off the iron.
One of the beautiful things about this game, live ball, and they pin Atu Molden back there. And again, a little pushing and shoving. That always seems to be the norm when these two teams get together. It's just one of those kind of rivalries as it's come along. Health South presenting the Chicago offense, and we've already chronicled what Raymond Filiaw can do. 18 touchdowns this season in 4 games. Moyer, a guy that can occasionally step out and reel in a touchdown. He had a 2-touchdown game against this Orlando team a few years ago. Orlando on that first drive, Gary, 4 plays, 31 yards, taking 2:56 off the clock. With a flag down, Filiaw hammered. Now we got to see about the laundry, but already not a great sign if you're the Chicago Rush, because Filiaw didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, it broke down as a long play to develop. They had to hold him out.
Jack linebacker out of the box. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, they're calling the linebacker out of the box here, but it took a long time to get going, so would have been a big play here for this defense. Get to that quarterback, Raymond Filiaw, early and put some pressure on him, but the linebacker got out of the box just a step earlier than he needed to, and going to bring up a first down again.
One of the interesting little sidebars here is that, again, the traditional strength for Chicago is they play so well on that front line. They've allowed 6 sacks only in the last 2 years total.
Well, one of the things that we're looking at this week here is the absence of Henry Douglas from this football team for Chicago. Last week had an injury, sprained his groin in that football game in a kickoff return, which he actually brings it back for a touchdown. Take a look here. Nobody really touches him on this drive, but a lot of strain on those legs as his offensive specialists have to run, and he pulls up lame at the end of that run, Josh, and he's out of the football game and not able to go tonight.
That is a big loss, but just one less weapon for Raymond Filiaw to use. But again, a chance for somebody else to step up tonight. There's a step up from Jeremy McDaniel. He had 7 catches for 73 yards last week in that loss to Columbus, but that's a pretty nice statement to make right here.
Right over the jack linebacker, right over Jerry and James, threads it in there very nicely. That's a good job by Raymond Filial getting McDaniel, this young player in this league, and get him into that offensive groove. You know, it's a serve volley type game here in the Arena Football League, Josh. You have Orlando coming here, scoring on their first possession. Chicago needs to hold serve and put a touchdown on the board.
1st and 10 right from midfield. Molden, the man in motion. Now they swing it out to McDaniel again. He was Chicago's 2nd leading receiver last year. Let's check it out from Health South defensively for Orlando. Kenny the Glove McIntyre. Iron Man in the truest sense of the word. He has answered the bell in 110 consecutive games now. E.J. Bird is a guy that can run on in there and drop a quarterback. He's got 3 sacks.
He's got uncanny speed and ability to get away from the offensive lineman. Look for him to put pressure on Filial.
2nd down, call it 3. Chicago is aptly named the rush. There's not a lot of running that goes on in this league, of course. 95% of plays are pass plays, but Chicago tilts it a little bit back the other way.
Well, when your head coach, you know, he kind of been in this league a long time, 19 years, he knows that the run game is as important as the passing game. You're not going to get a lot of yards, but you got your big fullback, McMillan, with a chance to win the corner. Mike Hohensee knows that that's a critical part for this game, and they do it quite a bit. They want to keep some balance out there for their football team and not make their receivers and quarterback do all the work.
They're very deep at that fullback position, too. Bob McMillan heads a very good class. Now Filial's got to scramble, hoisting it. And that's a keeper souvenir right there.
Well, that was a nice job by Raymond Filial to stay alive and kind of just move back and get some space there, avoiding the defensive rush. But I think we may have a hold here against the offense. That's certainly what we're going to have.
See if we can pick it up.
Yeah, you see that brace on his right knee, if we can hold it right there. He's got to play with that thing right there all night, and don't know if that's going to hinder him or not, but he looked like he's moving pretty well.
Well, again, Chicago, the last couple of years, has prided itself on protecting the quarterback. They've allowed only 1 sack this year. We mentioned 6 total over the last 2 years, but Orlando, one of the things they're real proud of is that they can get up on you. They have 10 sacks this season, so it's interesting to see which way that goes tonight.
And I think one of the big reasons that Orlando has pressure up front is their secondary. We'll talk about them. These guys are exceptional. Kenny McIntyre and Damon Mason, 2 of the best defensive specialists in the business.
1st and 20 now in a 7-0 game, and there's another souvenir, one of the beauties of the AFL game. Keep a football if you catch one.
Yeah, you love that. That's a good shot there. Good job. Get a ball in the stands and something to bring home.
They talk about the goal of this league is to make it the most fan-friendly league out there, and that helps. It's a nice-looking football.
Talked about the secondary here, Damon Mason and Kenny McIntyre for this Orlando football team. Those guys have played together for 5 years, and so when your defensive specialists know each other like that, they know where they're going to be at in the secondary. So your defensive line feels that, hey, if we get a little extra push there, all right, we know our guys are going to cover well in the secondary.
Filial gunning it and completes it. Chicago ties the game. Jeremy McDaniel's 2nd touchdown in the last 2 weeks. It's a tie if they make the extra point.
Well, a little confusion in the Orlando secondary. Reggie Doster, number 24, missed the jam at the line of scrimmage, and Filial just exploits it here to the outside. You see number 24 trying to get to the wall, but he can't get there. That's exactly what happened. So it's a nice re-answer here for the Chicago football team to get on the board.
And they've got a kicker who's been drilling extra points in Keith Gisbert, 19 out of 23. Trying to knot it up with 6:09 and counting left here in this first quarter. And he bangs it up and through. 7-7, Chicago and Orlando. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm
Well, Chicago without a Henry Douglas has found a pretty decent replacement so far, Gary. Jeremy McDaniel on that drive, 3 catches, 46 yards.
Yeah, he's going to be a two-way player tonight, play a little defense possibly as well, and Molden's going to be that offensive specialist, so that's going to be the rotation they'll use to start when they go out there on offense.
McDaniel was a decorated college player at Arizona. 1996, he had a game against Cal. 283 yards catching the football. That's a Pac-10 record, so you know that if he gets a seam, he can do some damage.
All those big plays, big throws, and that's what you have to have in arena football. You want to make the big strike, and these are pretty good drives moving the ball down the field for both teams, but I think both quarterbacks are playing pretty well right now.
7-7 tie, and as we'll talk about a little bit later on tonight, a good kicking game really helps. Chicago has one of the real good young ones in this league in Keith Gisbert, although this one is going to fly wide.
Yeah, it's going to go out to the 20-yard line. That's a kick out of bounds. That's by rule. It's a penalty.
That's the last time I say something nice about Gisbert. Sorry, Keith.
But he is one of the good young kickers.
He is. Let's, Gary, real quick, check the fantasy leaders brought to you by the U.S. Army. Michael Bishop from Grand Rapids on top. James Rowe out of Norfolk State. As always, very solid for San Jose. There's a guy in this game, Atu Molden, at 5th on the list.
Josh, that's a great way for fans to stay involved with arena football and learn a lot about these guys. AFLFantasy.com. It's a way to kind of have some fun with it. And these guys put up a lot of numbers, huge numbers. Grand Rapids Rampage. You got Michael Bishop. He's a rushing machine in this league. That's uncommon.
Michael Brown, the man in motion. Idris Price all the way down near the 15-yard line.
Idris Price has been a real nice surprise here for Jay Gruden on his football team, coming into the fullback linebacker spot. Now getting a chance to run the football, the quick little toss. He's got speed, ability, 4 rushing touchdowns already on the season for Idris Price, and showing why that Jay Gruden is very happy about his young linebacker with a good run here.
Idris Price has been on record saying, I want the ball more. Well, first carry tonight goes pretty well.
Your answer, you ask, you answer, and as long as you keep putting numbers up, you're going to keep getting more yards, more runs.
1st and 10 from the 17. There's a flag down. In fact, a couple of them. Michael Brown able to bash his way near the 5, but now let's see about the flag.
Yeah, a couple of guys moving up front. Might be the defensive linemen. If they take their hand up off the ground prior to the snap, even if they don't come across the line, it's a defensive alignment penalty. Joe Hamilton barking. You see at the top left of your screen there, you see the hand come up off the ground. That's what I think they're going to call against the defense. The linemen have to have their hands on the line of scrimmage, on the ground prior to the snap.
The result of the play is a first down.
That might as well take what they give you down to the 5.
Well, now here's where the windows kind of close down for these football teams. Get into the red area, and it's a lot different to score down here than it is out in the middle of the field, because the windows that you throw through on these defenses are a lot more difficult. And Orlando scoring 56% of the time touchdowns in this league, and actually they're second to last in overall scoring percentage of 56%. So they don't want to put points on the board every time they have it.
Hamilton looking, and incomplete. Justin Skaggs, the intended receiver.
Yeah, Justin Skaggs is out there because you remember they're missing Corey Fleming, the 2-time Iron Man of the Year, defending Iron Man of the Year for their football team. So he's not out there. Justin Skaggs being forced into the lineup, and he's got to produce for this offense, because Corey Fleming, what he gives them offensively is something pretty impressive. Joe Hamilton, he's a go-to guy.
We're down to 4:05 left in this first quarter. 7-7 our score. And a 2nd and goal now. The Georgia Tech product, Joe Hamilton. And this is going to be blown dead. Orlando looking to rush the ball that time. And, we talked earlier about this being a passing league, not a rushing league. But we got a couple of teams here that have been able to put the ball in the end zone on the ground.
Well, that's being committed to the run and being able to get that momentum going with your offensive line. Look at Orlando with 10 touchdowns and Chicago 8. Those are right up at the top of the league. So these two teams, Jay Gruden and Mike Hohensee, guys that have been around the Arena Football League for a long time. Mike Hohensee, 19 years. Jay Gruden, 13 years. They realize that running the football is key, and they've committed to it.
2nd down. And goal from the 10. 3.5 left first quarter. And let's see some more flags. Why not? Orlando might be back to midfield. before this is done. They get a Hamilton for the delay.
Joe Hamilton has complained about the 25-second clock. It's right behind the right by the tunnel there as you come out. He can see it very plainly from the line of scrimmage, so he shouldn't have any trouble coordinating that with his snap. So that just got away from Joe Hamilton on that one.
The backward march continues for Orlando.
That's not bad for arena football because it opens the windows for your passing game, Josh.
It's a tight end zone, 8-yard end zones in this game. Hamilton looking for that end zone. What a play by Frizzell! But no, he's going to say he had it.
Well, what they're going to call him out of bounds. The walls in arena football in the end zone all the way around are technically out of bounds. So his contact, he made contact with the wall first and did not come down in bounds. In this league, you have to come down in the end zone. You cannot strike the wall. Watch the body position right there. The back judge is right there, and he calls me. He hits the wall first. I think it's a good call by the official, right with the rule.
You got to have 1 foot down before you make contact with the wall.
That's in the end zone. If you touch the wall, you're out of bounds.
Good
call. Jimmy Frizzell does.
3rd and goal from the 15. And again, the play clock is at 0. Again, it's a delay of game.
You know, that's why you like to play games at home, especially here in Chicago. These fans are loud. It's noisy in here. They're going to get up for this team and trying to hurt this Predator offense and marching backwards, as you said.
And if Orlando can't punch it in from the 20, well, they're going to have to trot out Brian Goins. The kicking game has not been good for Orlando this year at all. In fact, they've already released Steve McLaughlin to get to Goins.
Yeah, and haven't made 1 field goal on this season, so they certainly want to convert here if they can.
On 3rd and goal from the 20. Fumble! And Chicago's got it. It's McGurty.
Well, I think everything plays into this here, Josh. You've got the fans, you've got the noise, you've got miscommunication up there with Joe Hamilton in his center. The ball was mishandled at the snap, and you take a look at Joe Hamilton. He never pulls it in. It drops between his legs, and number 33, McGurty, the fullback linebacker there, jumps on it. Now, that's a defensive stop for the Chicago Rush team. Those are huge in arena football, and that's the first one tonight.
Especially when you're starting out 1st and goal at the 5. And the man who spends his offseason selling real estate back in Boston, McGurty, came up with a key piece of real estate right there. And they're going to the end zone. Knockdown. Is it intercepted? No. They're going to call that incomplete. Michael Brown got in the way of it.
Well, we got a flag, too, but that was a nice break on the ball by Mike Brown coming underneath the receiver. Phil Yaw tried to lay it out in front for him to make a play on it. Take a look here. I don't know where the penalty is, but the ball is thrown, and good job by Mike Brown, number 11, coming in, almost making a catch there. The ball hits the ground. The back judge seen him pick it up off the turf, calls it incomplete, but nice effort there by Mike Brown.
This is going to be an illegal use of the hands penalty against a now very visibly frustrated Orlando team. Remember, they were just going backwards moments ago from a 1st and goal at the 5. They had to operate from the 20. They then fumbled at midfield, and now the penalty is going to push Chicago all the way to the Orlando 16-yard line.
A lot of penalties moving you backwards. That's about 25 yards in field position. That's half the field in arena football down the field.
Go!
In motion is Charles Pauly. And they'll wrap up Jamie McGurty with now 1:09 to go in this 1st quarter.
Trying to get a fullback screen here in the middle. Get going, Mike Hohensee trying to use his run game and also his screen game to his fullback to change things up a little bit for his offense. See the play sheet that Mike Hohensee has there. It's got a lot of color, a lot of different things on there, and a lot of different ways to utilize their receivers in this package. They can trade receivers positions, and there's not always one guy going to be the offensive specialist or the guy in high motion. They can use any one of their receivers to do that.
Molded in motion this time. They go the other way with a flag down, and McDaniel will be stopped as he passes the 5. But again, we've got to wait and see about the flag.
The umpire throws another penalty. Going to be holding against this Chicago offense. I think Idris Price, the Predator linebacker, was rushing inside, and he felt like that he was being held. So Mike Hohensee, although he's got a good throw by his quarterback, the ball's going to come back. Take a look at the linebacker rushing on the right side. He does crosses over the center, and there's the tackle right there. Pretty good call. I think Jamie McGurty might have gotten him.
So back they go now to the 23-yard line. And, you know, we talk about those play sheets. We talk about trying to get creative. Both these coaches are former Arena League quarterbacks themselves, and they were both pretty successful at it.
And I think with the coaches being on the field, being able to talk to their quarterbacks, guys that have been out there and doing this, I think that is huge, that they put confidence in these quarterbacks, and a little bit of something they might see, they can communicate with them.
Flag after flag after flag in this first quarter.
Well, Big Doug Miller trying to get off with the offensive specialist.
On the defense, number 97, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, when you're his size, 6'3", and you're 290 pounds, you're hard to miss on the outside. So Mr. Miller, you can't be that far offsides. These guys are going to find you. And watch on the left side, he got there early, trying to get to Philyaw.
Again, Orlando very proud of the fact that they can get in and harass any quarterback they want to. But this is a tough guy to go get in Raymond Philyaw. We've reached the end of the first quarter here in Chicago, and we are tied to 7-7, Orlando and Chicago, AFL Week 5.
The greatest source of America's generosity is the good heart of the people.
In the aftermath of the devastating tsunami, we come to you not as presidents, but as two private citizens.
Everyone can help, and every dollar contributed will impact someone's life. So visit usafreedomcorps.gov to choose a reputable, authorized charity to accept your donations directly.
No one can change what happened,
but we can all change what happens next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bon Jovi! Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're gonna be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
Come on, Trey, roll it!
This June, the AFL Championship game, Arena Bowl 19, is playing Vegas. For tickets, call 1-866-AFL-TICKS today.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight.
The AFL presented by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. By Health South as well, the official healthcare provider of the Arena Football League. And by Aaron's. Do the math, and you'll choose Aaron's for Dream products at Dream prices. Here in Chicago, where Orlando is out to a 3-1 start. Jay Gruden, what a story he is. After a Hall of Fame career in this league as a quarterback, Gary, he got into coaching in 1997, led the Predators to 3 consecutive Arena Bowls, including 2 championships, and then he activates himself to play again. He almost makes it back to the Arena Bowl twice more.
He's had a great career, both as a player and now as a coach, and I think he's got a lot of respect from his players because he's played the game, and they really respond to him, Jeff.
Orlando on defense, 2nd and 11 for Chicago. Atu Molden will shimmy across the 10 and get fairly close to that first down make. Jay Gruden, in leading the Predators to 3 consecutive Arena Bowls, including those 2 championships. And as a player getting it done, he's got a Super Bowl ring from assisting his brother with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you total up the jewelry, he needs both hands to wear all those rings. He's got 7 championship rings.
There's nothing wrong about that. He'd like to get another one this year, and he thinks his football team was really on pace to get that accomplished. Had a little setback last week against the Desperados, but would really like to play well and get a W tonight if they possibly could here in Chicago.
Philyaw with time. There's a flag, and the ball's in the end zone. For now, we'll call it a touchdown. It's Jeremy McDaniel again. We got to see about the flag.
What a nice throw by Raymond Filial over the middle of the box. We call for the linebacker stay in the box, and good job of throwing that ball down. And
Legal defense, check linebacker on the box. That penalty declined.
touchdown! Watch Raymond Filial throw this ball right over, down low. Only McDaniel can get this football. That's a big-time throw in this league.
Second touchdown of the game for Jeremy McDaniel. And again, we called it pretty much right at the top of this ball game. Somebody's going to have to step up in the absence of Henry Douglas. Gisbert for the extra point. And Gisbert hammers it on in there. 14-7 Chicago. And a couple of touchdowns for the third-year man out of Arizona, Mr. McDaniel.
Thank you for calling ADT Security Services.
I just wanted you to know that security system saved me twice.
You all have given me peace of mind.
I tell everybody I see, get an ADT security system.
Like these customers and millions more, you'll feel more secure with ADT in your home. ADT helps protect your family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package, and you may save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. ADT, always there.
Mondays, I'm a god amongst men. Wednesdays, I completely dominate. My skills have no equal. And Fridays, I can't be stopped. I'm the king. I just wish Tuesdays and Thursdays were the same.
No Limit Texas Hold'em every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Hollywood Greyhound. It's big stakes poker plus Greyhound Racing Nightly. Your week just got a whole lot brighter with Hollywood Greyhound.
It's time to think big. That's right. It's time for Toyota's Think Big truck event. Think big horsepower, big towing ability, big payload capacity. Think Tundra double cab. With the available XSP Sport Package. With 20-inch alloy wheels, leather seats, and more. Now with available cash back and the XSP Sport Package discount, get $4,000 in total savings. Hurry to your local Toyota dealer today because the Think Big truck event ends February 28th. Toyota, moving forward.
Big defensive stop by Chicago leads to a touchdown. It's McDaniel reeling it in 9 yards away from Filial. Our U.S. Army Ironman matchup in this game. There are some other receivers besides McDaniel that can haul him in. Justin Skaggs and Atu Molden.
We talk about Justin Skaggs having to play well because Corey Fleming out and Atu Molden playing that offensive specialist position. But right now, Jerry McDaniel, hey, he's singing the blues here for Chicago, doing a good job of that.
And Chicago out now 14-7 at home. Trying to shake off the effects of that very disappointing game they just played at Columbus. That is perfectly placed in a spin, but not a lot to do for Jerry and James. And we talk about how important kicking is. It's a scoring opportunity to be sure. Last year in this league, what was it, 62 kickoff returns for touchdowns. That's what Gisbert is trying to prevent.
Well, Gisbert's trying to get the ball up on the net or the iron, what we call it in this league, because if the ball goes off the iron, it can bounce back, and anybody can recover that for a touchdown. I've seen 2 games this year that there was a huge play off the net where the defense or the covering kick team covered the ball for a touchdown, and that's commonplace.
From the 9 to Hamilton, going for it all, but overthrows Frizzell.
You know, I thought Joe Hamilton had to play better this week and to make decisions quicker. Now, he made a good, quick decision this time to throw the football. Just overthrows Jimmy Frizzell, the new offensive specialist. But I think this week he's playing a little better, a little crisper. I think Jay Gruden worked on his release to get that ball out of there because he had so much pressure last week with the Desperado defensive front. He wants to give his offensive linemen some confidence that, hey, we're getting the ball off, things are going good, we just got to throw and catch.
As quick as this indoor game moves, for the fans or for the announcers, boy, for the quarterback, it's just got to be a blur. There's Frizzell, and he dances near midfield for the first down.
Jeroy Johnson, the middle safety there for the Chicago Rush defense, given too much cushion there, I think, for number 80, Jimmy Frizzell, the offensive specialist. He's coming downhill on the offensive line, high motion, and there's too much separation there. He's got to come up and pressure that a little bit more. Otherwise, this quarterbacks are too good, and these receivers, they adjust their route so quickly that they're going to make that throw and catch all night. So I think the Rush defense might need to tighten up just a little bit.
Couple of catches for 35 yards for Frizzell. They'll pitch it to Moye Moore. And he darts to the near side, up across the 20.
Well, this is a physical football game, and you've got to block here. Your wide receivers have to block, and when you run the football, everyone has to do it. So you ask your wide receiver, Jerry and James, come in and block the linebacker. Watch number 44, the shot that he takes. That was by a wide receiver from the outside. So everybody pitches in to make things go here. Samoa Moore getting a good job by his linebacker, wide receiver coming in, and good job of running around the corner.
Second and a couple here. Moore trying to change directions. He's hit and then dropped. Don McCall made the first hit, the former Orlando Predator.
Well, you know who made that play? That's E.J. Burt, number 96. We talk about him as a defensive pass rusher on the right side, but too much pressure up front there, doing a good job. And Chicago team doing a nice job here on that play, trying to slow down the running attack here for these Predators.
Marlon Moore has been out with an injured left knee for a while. They didn't think he'd be back until late this season, but here he is in week 5. Just lost yardage there. Hamilton on third down. Has to scramble, and he doesn't mind. Hamilton able to slip across for the first down.
Well, John Moyer is just going to be extremely upset. The defensive end for the rush came around the corner and really had his man defeated. Just missed Joe Hamilton. Watch Joe Hamilton's feet. You see Moore coming around the outside? Moyer couldn't get him, and Joe Hamilton showing, hey, I've got some wheels, a chance to get out and make something out of nothing here. He's got a first down, and that's big for this Predator football team.
The Heisman Trophy runner-up in the year 2000. Ron Dane won the award that year. He did it by bruising his way upfield when he carried the ball. Hamilton's all finesse, but he finesses this one into the second row. Flag down around the 8-yard line.
Well, they're going to call this on Greg Williams. Going to have a lot of contact on the outside on Jerry and James, pushing him out. It looks like he was in the beyond the 5-yard line contact rule. So
contact on the defense, number 6. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You called it.
Well, that's Greg Williams. He's on the near sideline here, and he had too much contact. Didn't matter about the throw. You had contact beyond 5 yards, and that's a penalty in this league.
Williams, a former XFL player, and of course the XFL, a one-year wonder. You look back 19 years ago, there were a lot of people who thought this too would be a one-year wonder. This is now 19 years and not showing any signs of slowing down.
Oh, it's actually growing. The fan base is tremendous. The attendance is up. It is a game that is here. It's got legs, and it's got a lot of appeal to a lot of people. It's a great fun game to be at.
Brazil couldn't hold it near the back of the end zone. Second down.
What do you think about Joe Hamilton? Has he got a gun or what?
Huh?
That was a rifle shot coming across the field. And Jimmy Frizzell, hey, you got to look for that one because Joe Hamilton's going to sling it out there, and you got to make those catches. That's what you have to do. You see coming across here, the offensive specialist. Watch Joe Hamilton step up and zing that football. That's a laser.
Again, Frizzell getting the start. Travis McGriff is sitting down. A healthy scratch, as they would say in hockey. They're not playing that sport right now. Hamilton. James with the bobble. He couldn't hold it. Orlando plagued last week by drops in Dallas, and there's a couple here.
Well, I talked about Joe Hamilton playing at a high level, and he certainly is. He's delivering the football, making things happen in the pocket. His throws are on the money. Got a couple of drops here. First you had number 80 Frizzell, and now Jerry and James cannot pull that in. So it's a problem here. You've got to make plays when you're called to go out and do that. So Joe Hamilton's answering the bell. His receivers got to follow suit.
Two guys making their first starts for Orlando, and they both dropped balls on this drive. Flags coming.
Going to be a false start, I think, on number 96, E.J. Burt.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense, number 99.
Whoa.
They get the zone, and then the offensive man lifted up.
They get a veteran, John Moyer.
Still third down.
And they'll march it closer to the end zone.
Said he invaded the zone.
Nobody likes an invasion. The AFL on NBC this weekend, Sunday. Arizona and New York. Dallas and Philly should be a heck of a game.
Well, Dallas 3-1 right now. Philadelphia 2-2 with Tony Graziani. Hey, I think that Clint Sterner in Dallas is turning out to be one exceptional quarterback and the guy with a big upside in this league.
Third down. Hamilton And he could not connect with Michael Brown. Brown was being impeded right near the goal line. He just couldn't bust out of that drape that was dropped down on him.
But the pressure by number 99, John Moyer, around the edge, getting right to Joe Hamilton. Doesn't give him enough time to set his feet and throw the football. So he's just got to throw it out there and be hopeful that his receiver can get underneath that football. But good job by the Chicago Rush defense and John Moyer.
Well, hold your breath. It's a field goal opportunity here for Orlando, and this has been a real bane for them this season.
0 for 7.
They haven't tried many chip shots, though. This one on its way. And finally, the first field goal they've made all year. It's the former Northwestern Wildcat coming back to Chicago. Brian Gowans has Orlando to within 14-10.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
Hey, did y'all know that Aaron's is having a sale? It's a dandy. They got they got a whole bunch of big screen. They got washers and dry. Hey, y'all better get down here fast.
No wonder everything's disappearing so fast. Do the math. Aaron's guarantees the lowest prices, like on this high-definition big screen TV monitor, and you're pre-approved.
That's not all. Aaron's has furniture, like these Hey, the recliner was supposed to disappear, not me.
Ready for a more exciting fantasy football experience? AFL Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Log on to AFLFantasy.com for a chance to win weekly and season-long cash prizes. More yards. More scoring. More excitement. AFL Fantasy Football powered by Sandbox. Sign up and get in on the action.
Welcome back to the Allstate Arena in Chicago. Jeff Friedman here with Mike Ditka, co-owner of the Chicago Rush. And Coach Ditka, talk about your decision to become a part owner of this team.
Well, I love the game. I really do. I love the league. I love what it does. The players play their hearts out, play offense, defense, specialty. I like what I see. I mean, that's why I got involved. Listen, if you've got a family and you want to come out and see a great event, have some fun, this is an event to see. It's not expensive, but yet these guys play their hearts out. This is real football.
Talk about head coach Mike Hohensee. Have you talked to him at all about the team?
No, I don't bother Mike. Listen, I had him as a quarterback when we had the strike here. He's a great guy. I love Mike. He's very intense. Me talking to him right now wouldn't help him one bit. He's doing a great job.
Can you give your input on how the team's doing today?
Well, this is one of the lowest scoring games I've seen. You know that. This is very unusual. And Orlando is a very good football team. So I think we're doing very well right now.
And what do you look forward to as co-owner of the team? What are your goals?
Well, I think if you get into this league and you don't want to win the Arena Bowl, then you're not doing what's right. You got to want to win it all. And that's what our goal is, to win the Arena Bowl.
You having fun here tonight?
Always.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach Ditka. Josh and Gary, back to you.
All right, after all these years, he's still the coach.
He's the coach, and he's Mr. Intense. You can tell in his voice, could he be involved in this game? You bet he could. I think those guys will watch him and respond to him, too.
Raymond Filyaw has an interesting take on what it means to have Mike Ditka involved. He's the quarterback here for the Chicago Rush, and the way Filyaw looks at it, he says, listen, he's still the biggest thing in Chicago next to Michael Jordan and Oprah after all these years.
That's pretty good.
Third in that group, that's not bad. And I know you've got, I don't know what kind of take you've got, because let's face it, your New York Giants were pretty close to being in a Super Bowl that the coaches team ended up winning.
Well, the old coaches team got us in 1985. We played here in a playoff game, the Giants did, and they whipped our tails. They no doubt about it. They deserved to win. Hey, we got it the next year, so.
Yes, you did.
He's got the 85 ring. We got the 86 ring. I guess it's okay.
46-10 did they get that ring. Super Bowl, hard to believe. That was almost 20 years ago. Super Bowl 20.
Seemed like it flew by. Just like this football game is going to fly by before you know it. A lot of scoring here, a lot of things yet to go. So they got a couple of teams kind of punching it out here, Josh.
Yeah, the coach wanted more scoring. I think you're right. I think he'll get it. 14-10, second quarter.
When it comes to the quality of our suits, our customers find that we're like a small men's boutique. And it's only when they see the price that we're like a warehouse.
Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
This free DVD shows you how Bowflex's Tread Climber lets you burn calories in half the time that it takes on other equipment. Call for yours now. You need to see this free DVD.
Tread Climber lets me get an amazingly effective cardio workout in 30 minutes. It's quick, it's easy, and it makes me feel great. And it's compact enough to fit anywhere in my home.
Tread Climber combines the walking motion of a treadmill with the stepping motion of an elliptical. So really, you do twice the work in one easy motion.
It's really easy to do. It feels sort of like walking in sand.
Plus, it's low impact, which keeps my knees feeling great.
I know I have to take care of myself now if I want to look younger and feel younger. If you're like us, you'll never want to waste your time on a treadmill again. Tread Climber simply produces results. Call right now for your free DVD. It shows you why the Bowflex Tread Climber burns calories and works your heart faster and easier than any other cardio product on the market today.
Well, Chicago has had a defensive stop and a half, and they're leading 14-10 with Mike Ditka watching on. Coming up at halftime, we will be hearing a little bit about what some of the Chicago people, Mike Hohensee, the coach of the Rush, what he thinks about having Mike Ditka on board. We'll talk to Orlando's coach, Mr. Jay Gruden. I think the whole Mike Ditka thing, it just gives it so much credibility. Ticket sales are up 40% here in Chicago.
And really what he said about fans and families coming to this game is really what it's all about. The Arena Football League is a fan-friendly thing. They've got a fans' bill of rights. It is all done the right way. And it's a great event to come to. The people just really love it when they get here.
Phil Yaw gets rid of it just in time, incomplete to bring up 3rd and 10. And the Rush pinned back to begin with. That kickoff, I tell you what, that was a pretty good exchange kick-wise for Orlando. First, they nailed their first field goal all year. Then Gowans put one right in the hole to start them from their 5.
Yeah, but it was also a half stop by Chicago. In this game, when a team kicks a field goal and makes it, it's considered a half stop by the defense. And so those add up over time. So now, if Chicago has a chance to put a touchdown on the board, they get more separation in the scoring, which is what you'd like to do.
Phil Yaw has to get rid of it. A flag down on 3rd down.
Well, things are happening in this football game, Josh. You know, turnovers, they lead to points, and that's exactly what happens here. You find the Chicago team on the 4th down, getting the fumble recovery, and then the big play, the quick scoring drive there. Stops in this game are few offenses that capitalized on them, really changed the momentum of the game.
Gary, meantime, Jay Gruden's on the field. He wants an...
Number 52, that penalty declined, 4th down.
He was wondering if the holding was in the end zone. He was out there making the sign for the safety, but he's not going to get it.
Well, Jay's got a pretty good spot down there. He's inside the back of the end zone there. Out there with he's out there with both the offense and the defense. Jay Gruden is. His defense coordinator is in the box, so he's out there calling the shots. You got Brett Muncie, the defense coordinator, in the box, and Jay Gruden on the field.
Now remember, no punts allowed in this league. So on 4th and 10 from their own 5, Phil Yaw completes it. How about that? Charles Pauly, just his 4th catch all year. Needing 10, they got 15.
Well, they got him in the expansion draft from San Jose, and this young man came in, need to make some plays and get a chance to play tonight. Comes up with a big 1st down grab. Normally they'd go to Molden in this situation. He had 21 1st down catches coming into this football game, but Pauly doing a nice job getting across the field, and Raymond Philyaw, it's a good step and throw, nice timing. Good job by the Rush offense.
DeJuan Alfonso coming on the field now, wide left at the bottom of your screen. Again, Pauly in motion. Phil Yaw harassed. Souvenir time.
a pretty good Predator rush that time. Just bringing 3 rushers that time, the 3 offensive linemen that elected not to rush the MAC linebacker. And those 3 linemen did a good job of pressuring Phil, pushing that rush offense back, not let him step and throw it on timing. And there's another souvenir.
And meantime, another flag down around midfield for some pushing and shoving.
It's an incomplete pass, second down.
Out there, going to call out of the box.
Now they're going to decline the penalty because it's a loss of down. And excuse me, they enforce the penalty.
Yeah. They have actually whistled 12 penalties that have stuck in this first half. There have been, I think, 5 or 6 more that have been declined.
Hurry up. Go.
Philyaw looking for Pauly, incomplete. Damon Mason got a hand in there. One of the more physical players in this league defensively.
Well, he's the second all-time career tackler, Damon Mason is, number 2 for that Predator football team in the history of the AFL. Over 600 career tackles, and he's got a great presence in the secondary, making a great break on the football, knocking that ball out of there. He plays their middle defensive specialist position, and I think that is the toughest position in arena football. You're the one that's going to be responsible most of the time for the high motion man coming downhill. And Damon Mason's done a nice job for that for many years in this league.
First down make. Here's the other side, 20-yard line. Philyaw over the middle, what a catch. Onto Molden, up in the air. First down in Chicago.
Watch Onto Molden and what he does coming off the line of scrimmage. First of all, he's the high motion receiver, but you got to give him some space. Onto Molden put about 4 moves on Kenny McIntyre before he even looked back at the quarterback and Philyaw. And good job by the rush offense, giving Philyaw a chance to throw the football, and good strike, good throw there. And Onto Molden's showing me something tonight. I haven't seen a lot of him in this league, but seeing very early here why he's thought of as one of the best players in this league.
They went right after the 3-time AFL Defensive Player of the Year, Kenny McIntyre, the man they call the Glove. And Molden able to reel it in. Somebody lost a shoe. As McGurty ends up with the football, he's knocked down shy of the 10.
Nice job by Kenny McIntyre. You talked about him coming up. The Glove, he's got a lot of interceptions in his career and doing a good job coming up, making that tackle on the quick screen. We're going to throw it out to your fullback there. Just bumps the defensive end rushing and then slips it out there to him. And Kenny McIntyre, number 28, finishes him off. And you got Jerry and James adding in there as well. Good job that time by the Predator defense.
And forget about the glove. What about the shoe? E.J. Bird stepped right out of his.
Well, EJ's fast. He gets around that edge, and he's got a lot of pressure on that quarterback. He's got a lot of sacks. He's their motor guy up front there, and he's the all-time sack leader for that Predator football team.
And in the AFL Developmental League in 2002, he did something incredible, thought to be a pro football record. He had 27.5 sacks in one season.
Well, that was in the AF2 for the Prowlers, I think it was. And that's a huge accomplishment. Anytime you get 27 sacks in a season, whether it's high school football, college football, arena football, or the NFL, that's a lot of sacks.
And Brett Favre didn't even go down on purpose on any of them. It stays 14-10. 2:27 left before halftime.
At Champs Sports, we know that arena football is not a game. It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champs Sports, where sport lives.
EA Sports.
Chicago up 14-10. They're trying to get to 3-2 for the year. Knock down Orlando to that same record. The series history, it's been Chicago 4 out of 6. 6 emotionally charged games between these two teams. And certainly Orlando still stinging, Gary, from having lost in the playoffs here last year and in the regular season. The 43-point margin of defeat, the worst in franchise history.
Yeah, that stings.
2nd and 8 for Chicago, trying to build on what is now a 4-point lead. Molden wrapped up by Doster. Pile drive by Doster after the whistle. James ended up with the football, but no, this is Chicago ball. And what'll be 3rd down?
Well, Reggie Doster's in there. He's their 3rd defensive specialist. So they've got their 3 defensive backs in the game. You get your 2 defensive specialists, and whenever you get Doster in there, number 24, they feel like they've got a good group back there.
Let's go.
Chance to shut down the Chicago Rush offense. The windows are small here, so tough to throw the football through those lanes and get into the end zone.
Wing stretch right. First down, ready? Whoa.
Kind of hear the play. Wing stretch right. First sound, so probably a running play.
Go!
And nothing for Molden.
There wasn't a whole lot of stretch there, was there?
No.
a lot of good job up front by the Predator defense here. Brings up a 4th down now. You're going to have your field goal team come on and get a chance to put points on the board.
Keith Gisbert is a great example of how long it takes a kicker to master this indoor game, I think, Gary. His first 2 years in the AF2 in Augusta, Georgia, 13 out of 66 on field goals. 1 out of 32 on 50-plus. And now he's got it down to an art.
Well, the good news is he had a coach that stayed with him, because a lot of times coaches are going to cycle through kickers. You know, you bring one in one week, one in the next, and just get one that works. You find one that works. But Gisbert's, you know, he's prospered now. He's had a chance, 5 for 5 on the season. He's had a field goal tonight. So right now he's probably in a pretty good groove, and he's out there again for possibly 7th on the year.
You know, at one point he was 0 for 27 from 50-plus. Last year he nailed from 52, 53, and 54. He's coming along, and he'll have a chance when we come back.
I was cooking dinner and I just fell asleep. But I collapsed. I couldn't call for help. But ADT did. They saved my life.
An ADT monitored fire detector actually signals ADT, so we can call for help. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package, and save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT, always there.
Ready for a more exciting fantasy football experience? AFL Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Log on to AFLFantasy.com for a chance to win weekly and season-long cash prizes. More yards. More scoring. More excitement. AFL Fantasy Football, powered by Sandbox. Sign up and get in on the action.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
In the AFL, there are no gimme putts when it comes to the kicking game. Here, a 25-yard attempt for Keith Gisbert.
Yeah, and those posts are just 9 feet wide, and the crossbar's 15 feet off the ground. Not a gimme.
And it did not get through.
And a little right and kicked up over the back.
Gisbert had been 5 for 5 this year. That's his first miss. Chicago had made every field goal this year. They've missed tonight. Orlando had missed every field goal all year. They've made theirs tonight.
Gisbert just kind of pushes it out. It looks like it's going right to the post and actually hits the suspension wire that comes down holding the nets up.
Those goal side rebound nets are 30 feet wide by 32 feet high. They're pretty tough to miss, actually, but
well, he's got enough leg, and he kicks it up over that at that distance. So Keith Gisbert's got the good lift on the football, get it over that line, and But then again, now that's a stop for the Orlando football team.
And speaking of stops, we will see some stopping of the clock late. There's a nice play. That's James over the middle, flag down. Finally wrestled down by McDaniel.
Yeah, I think we might have a face mask on the end of this. Jerry and James makes a nice run after the catch here. Joe Hamilton tosses the ball out to him nicely, and it's what you want to do here. Answer after a defensive stop, and I think the Predators and Jay Gruden's football team are doing that.
First down.
You know, here in the last minute of this game, the normal clock rules apply. You have your normal stops. And take a look here at Joe Hamilton throwing the football out there. But I think that Jay Gruden is very conscious about the clock and how much time is left in the half. As a goal for a football coach, you want to have that ball last. So when Joe Hamilton gets his ball down there, you don't necessarily want to score very, very quickly, because then you give Chicago a chance to get that ball back. Now remember, they defer to the second half, so they'll get the ball back to start the second half.
A draw, and Price with a burst, and there he is!
Well, we talked about Idris Price being a nice fit for this Predator football team, and you see his running ability, and that is a great job of getting it done. Fifth rushing touchdown for Idris Price on the season, and I think that's a pretty nice job of running. But what he does after it, this is kind of a rookie mistake. He throws the ball into the wall, and that's a penalty on him. But good job up front. Everybody blocking well, and Idris Price get it in there for the touchdown.
Number 4, spiking the ball into the wall. That 10-yard penalty will be assessed after the kickoff.
All right, fans, here comes Orlando Predators kicker Brian Gowins to play the...
A 20-yard run, but then there's going to be a 10-yard penalty after the
kickoff.
After the kickoff, exactly.
So if they return it to the 25, they'll add 10 to that, so it'll be down to the 15. So those after touchdown penalties are huge in this kicking game.
Right up and through. So Orlando with Idris Price doing the heavy lifting. Now on top, 17-14.
Well, that's where that defensive stop gives you a chance to get back in this football game and get on top. And Idris Price answering with the long run. 2 plays for that short drive. Now Jay Gruden's team's got to play defense. Mike Hohensee has a chance with his rush team to put possibly the last touchdown on the board of the half.
17-14 Orlando leading Chicago, AFL Week 5.
Bon Jovi. Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're going to be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Am I? Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
Come on, Trey, roll it!
Follow the drive to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas every weekend on Fox Sports Net and NBC.
Hit me.
An interest-only loan gets you a larger house and a smaller payment. Nice, huh?
Bigger home, smaller payment.
Pinnacle Financial, home of the Stress Less Mortgage. With our low $295 guarantee lender fee, you know exactly what to expect at closing. No surprises. So call 1-888-CALL-TROY or log on to 888-CALLTROY.com.
Relax, you're approved.
Idris Price gallops into the end zone, a guy that caught Jay Gruden's eye in training camp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, Jay has been helping his older brother, John, who is going on, well, I guess his 3rd year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He won a Super Bowl pretty much right out of the gate, but he's been 12-20 since. Jay Gruden says he's amused that all of a sudden, I guess his brother got dumb. Isn't that funny? A lot of criticism in Tampa Bay about how the Buccaneers are having at it lately. That's a live ball. And they blew it dead after it came loose. A lot of people were jumping around, but they had already blown it dead.
I'm not sure that Jeroy Johnson actually covered that ball inside the 5-yard line, and I'm sure that the Predators are really asking if that happened, because the ball comes off the net and it gets away from the returner back here. You see Jerry James cannot pull it down. Now, does Johnson have control of it on the ground?
Boy.
I think that ball...
No replay in the AFL. Down by contact, they're saying there.
Well, he may have been down by contact, but I don't think he had control of the football. And that may have been a big play for the Predators, but nonetheless, it's going to come out here. The 10-yard penalty is now enforced after that kick, giving Chicago a little breathing room.
Chicago with Raymond Filiaw at the controls. He's been 10 of 17. Screens it out and completes it. That is Russell Shaw.
And they use the first time out here. Quarterback right there talking to the referee.
8-yard pickup. You're allowed 3 timeouts a half. And there's the first one burned by Chicago. Russell Shaw, who's celebrating a birthday tonight, says his biological football clock is ticking. He's 29 now. It's time to make people notice what he can do.
Oh, I know all about that. You get over age 30 and things kind of starting to slow down for you. And I think the gravitational pull of the earth has really increased over time, Josh. And I think that's
amazing. Russell Shaw, undersized, but you know that the Rush had one of those guys spring into the NFL this past year, Gary. Antonio Chapman up to Green Bay. Did a real nice job for the Packers.
On one, ready? Yeah. You got the smash.
Second, call it 3. 25 seconds left before halftime. Flag down. Ball in the air. Shaw, end zone, touchdown. We'll see about the flag.
Well, it's the umpire who throws a penalty, and he's usually going to throw something that's holding inside or linebacker out of the box. And the way that Filiaw is reacting looks like it's going against the Predator defense. So a quick strike here.
Penalty decline. Result of play.
Quick strike here by this Rush offense. Got them back on top. And with 19 seconds to go, there's still a lot that can happen in this half.
Happy birthday, Russell Shaw, the gift that keeps on giving. Spent his last 4 years with the LA Avengers, and not a featured receiver there, Gary. He has come here, and he has busted out.
What about Russell Shaw, Jeremy McDaniel, even Charles Pauley, all playing for this Rush football team, not heralded guys, but making plays. Remember Henry Douglas out of the game, and Artu Mulligan playing an offensive specialist, but other players, as we talked about, answering now for the Chicago Rush. A lot of scramble ability there by Filiaw, and then Shaw just runs away from Kenny McIntyre in the middle of the field. Good throw and catch. Looked pretty easy there, and Chicago looked like, hey, little bubble route here. Just come across and make a play.
And unlike Idris Price, no excessive celebration penalty. Russell Shaw's got to be a basketball fan. 2 of his children, Gary, are named Shaquille and Jordan.
I think he's probably got that covered.
Russell Shaw out of Michigan. Couple of receptions on that drive. And there's his, there's his vertical. Keep it in the basketball parlance.
I don't think that Raymond Filiaw is having any problems. We talked about his right knee being sprained last week in the third quarter of that football game against Columbus. Not bother him at all. Mike Owens, he said, hey, I didn't think he could play on Monday or Tuesday. And luckily out here on Friday night for this Rush football team, doing a good job at the quarterback spot.
And again, Gary, one of the exciting things, one of the heart-stopping things, as you know, as a guy that's coached this game, that final minute of the second quarter and the fourth quarter, you can just see an explosion of points.
Oh, it really can be. I mean, the ball can go off the net, no time expire, and a touchdown, and score a touchdown on recovering a kick.
But it floats up into the net, and no chance for Michael Brown to bring it back.
19 seconds is an eternity here, so Orlando's going to be back at the helm there, and Joe Hamilton's going to lead his troops out there with a chance to try to get back on top in this game. I think that Orlando really needs to score here, because to start the second half, the Chicago Rush will have the football, and you don't want to give them a chance to get separation.
Both these teams coming off of very lackluster games a week ago. Orlando losing in a game that really wasn't as close as the final score would tell you, 42-28.
Yeah, they were pretty much manhandled by the Dallas Desperados, and the Chicago Rush down to Columbus and didn't play well there, had some injuries in that football game, but Columbus came out with the victory there.
That is Skaggs on the near side. Clock stops with 15 left.
Yeah, normal clock stoppage here when a receiver then hits the sidewall. He's out of bounds in the last minute. Timing rules in arena football. Actually, the clock stops kind of like the college game after a first down, so the line can get up the line of scrimmage right as they set the play clock and get things going without using a timeout.
Hamilton now 7 out of 14. What a hit on Justin Skaggs. The Molden came in there. The Montana Grizzly alum.
Well, a couple of good bodies hitting on two. Molden, 6'2", 195, number 17. Listen to this.
Hard to believe that guy was an art major at Montana. It's not something an art major would do, is it? A bone-rattling hit like that.
Well, if you're a defensive player, that's pretty stuff to look at right there. Now, Jay Gruden talking to Joe Hamilton here. Hey, 7 straight. Want to make sure he's going to utilize the clock and get this ball out quick. He's got 10 seconds here. Plenty of time to either throw 1 or 2 towards the end zone, or I think he's got 1 timeout left.
His big play guys aren't there for him tonight. McGriff is sitting. Corey Fleming is hurt. Reeled in, and Moye Moore is drilled. After the catch, we're down to 6 seconds now.
Well, that's what the jack linebacker has to do. Cover the fullback out of the backfield, and two, Molden, number 17, who had the big hit earlier, hits a pretty good Moye Moore right into the wall as well. So 2 big hits here by number 17. Hey, that's an Ironman play right there. Now, they must have changed the offensive specialist tag on on number 17, Molden, because he's playing jack position now. They can do that in this football game. Change their offensive specialist and allow Molden to be a two-way player.
Gowans is on the field, the kicker, with 6 seconds left, and now Orlando is going to call time. Now, Orlando, having gone all year without a field goal make, does have one in the books in this quarter. But Gowans, I mean, this one is going to be a little bit more difficult than the one that he hit earlier. That other one was from 21.
Yeah, they weren't set up at the line of scrimmage. That's why they used their last time out. The clock had stopped because he actually hit into the wall. But this is going to be a little longer.
Could be about a 43-yard attempt here. Orlando's kickers are 1 out of 8 for the year, with the 1 coming in this quarter. Wide, and Chicago will play it. McDaniel as the clock trips down to 0. And the first half is history here at Allstate Arena. A physical and entertaining first half. Boy, physical and entertaining. I think Mike Ditka would enjoy that description. That's what he was all about. Still is. 21-17 our score. Back with more at halftime in a moment.
Soldiers in the Army Reserve are all around you. They take pride and honor in serving their country, knowing it doesn't mean giving up their civilian life. They further their education and gain the skills and experience that help them succeed every day. Become a soldier in the Army Reserve. It's not your everyday job.
What? That was offside. Face mask. First down. Way to go, baby. Oh, go for 2. Blitz. Get out. Timeout. Timeout. He's all over him. Interference. Right in his hand. Oh.
So glad I'm not playing anymore.
Touchdown. Yeah.
Every armchair quarterback needs a high-definition widescreen projection TV monitor. Aaron's has a great selection at the guaranteed lowest price.
Game over? Game over?
What?
At Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game. It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
The road is calling, baby. Our destination, only the best in college hoops across Florida. It's the season of 100 stops, including 40 statewide matchups, and no other network comes close. So whether it's Knights, Noles, Canes, or Gators, this trip has it all. Hoops on Sunsport, presented by Metro PCS. Wednesday, it's Florida at Georgia.
I'm Jeff Friedman here with Orlando Predators coach Jay Gruden. And coach, what does your team need to do to get back into the lead in the second half?
We just got to make the plays when they present themselves. You know, our offense has shot themselves in the foot. We got a bad call down here. We dropped a couple touchdown passes down there. Blue protection down there too, so we just got to make the plays when they present themselves. And then defense, we got to get off the field on third down.
How's Justin Skaggs doing filling in for Fleming today?
He's doing fine. You know, we got all our receivers have to step up. It's going to be by committee. Frizzell, Skaggs, Jerry James, Brett Cooper hadn't played yet, but we'll have to step up. Mike Brown. So, and we're running the ball pretty good. So, you know, we got a good balance going. We just got to make plays when we can.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Coach. We'll be back with more of our Aaron's Halftime Show after this.
His mom was trying to talk him into renting the more traditional look. He, of course, was leaning the other way. After all, it was his prom, and it was Melinda. So instead of a bow tie, it was a button cover, and a vest instead of a cummerbund. As for Mom, we can only say this: it's not what he's wearing that you should be worried about.
Tuxedo rentals for as little as $50.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Some people prefer the functionality of the Element. Some prefer the rugged versatility of the CR-V. Others just like the room and power of the 8-passenger Pilot. But all three are leaders in their class for fuel economy and have been rated an excellent value. So no matter which one you choose, it'll be the right choice. The CR-V, the Pilot, the Element from Honda. Now you can lease a Honda Pilot EX for $279 a month.
This free DVD shows you how Bowflex's Tread Climber lets you burn calories in half the time it takes on other equipment. Call for yours right now. You need to see this free DVD. Tread Climber lets me get an amazingly effective cardio workout in 30 minutes. It's quick, it's easy, and it makes me feel great. And it's compact enough to fit anywhere in my home. Tread Climber combines the walking action of a treadmill with the stepping movement of an elliptical. It's really easy to do. It feels sort of like walking in sand. Plus, it's low impact, which keeps my knees feeling great. I know I've got to take care of myself now if I want to look younger and feel younger. If you're like us, you'll never want to waste your time on a treadmill again. Tread Climber simply produces results. Call right now for your free DVD. It shows you why the Bowflex Tread Climber burns calories and works your heart faster and easier than any other cardio product on the market today.
Back here on our Aaron's Halftime Report, Jeff Friedman. The Chicago Rush are in the lead, and I had a chance to talk with the head coach of the Chicago Rush, Mike Hohensee. He's third all-time in wins all-time for all coaches in the Arena Football League, and he told me about his co-owner of the Chicago Rush, Mike Ditka.
Yes, sir. I mean, you know, he's the boss, and I understand how authority works, and I'm not real high on that ladder right now. And you know, any advice he would give, I would listen, and I hope he does have some advice for us.
Well, I'd listen to Mike Ditka's advice too. I was up in his suite, and he's having fun here at the game tonight with all his fans, all his friends, and he hopes that the Chicago Rush can get a win this evening against the Orlando Predators. We'll be back with highlights after this on the Aaron's Halftime Report.
EA Sports.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will finally be able to relax!
A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Plus save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
Bon Jovi!
Elway.
What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're going to be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
Follow the drive to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas. There's a rumble in the house.
Hit me.
Don't miss the Orlando Predators play against the 2004 Arena Bowl champions, the San Jose SaberCats, Sunday, March the 6th. Tickets start at just $10. $10. Call Ticketmaster or 407-44-PREDS now.
The Aaron's halftime report from Chicago. Josh Lewin and Gary Reasons with you from Allstate Arena. And the Chicago Rush and Orlando Predators pretty even all the way through in the first two quarters. Chicago, though, on top, 21-17. What struck you about that first half?
Well, I think overall both teams are playing well. I think both quarterbacks are playing pretty well. I thought that Raymond Filial threw the ball well. Joe Hamilton was on fire, just had some drops. But, you know, the defensive stops in this game, I think, have been huge. And the one turnover has really been the difference in the game.
When you look at the first half stats, indeed, the numbers bear it out. It's been pretty much even up. Look at the total yards, 147 to 145.
Well, the Arena Football League, the yardage really doesn't matter that much as you do opportunity to put points on the board. Both teams have really answered that bell except for the one turnover you see there on the screen, and that led to the Chicago Rush score. So that's something that's key in this football game. If it happens in the second half, that's going to be the difference in this football game. You've got two coaches that are very experienced in Mike Hohensee and Jay Gruden, so both coaches are going to make the proper adjustments at halftime.
Two guys who were standout quarterbacks in this league, as a matter of fact, going head-to-head against each other. And it was a first half, as you can expect, that had a reasonable amount of offense in a 21-17 game.
Reasonable amount of offense. There's a lot of it out there. These guys throw the ball around the yard, and Joe Hamilton showing his foot ability here early in this football game, getting a touchdown here for his Predator football team. Joe Hamilton, a speedy quarterback, as you know that. Then you take a look at Raymond Filial throwing a pretty good strike outside, and then the run after the catch here. That's pretty good stuff there by the Chicago Rush.
McDaniel had a big first half, a couple of touchdown receptions, matter of fact, and Filial very poised. As you see, able to find McDaniel again as Chicago marching out to a lead. Orlando overtook him for a while as Hamilton brought them back down the other way. This was Idris Price.
Moore here does a nice, this is Idris Price doing a good job running the ball for the Predators and getting them back on the board. But it's answer right back. Filial does a good job with his football team, and you throw it down to Shaw and get right back on the board. That's how fast things turn here in the football league.
That is the beauty of this sport. Back and forth, and we're getting ready for quarter number 3. We'll have it for you when we come back here. Strong like bull, 21-17.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight.
The greatest source of America's generosity is the good heart of the people.
In the aftermath of the devastating tsunami, we come to you not as presidents, but as two private citizens.
Everyone can help, and every dollar contributed will impact someone's life. So visit usafreedomcorps.gov to choose a reputable, authorized charity to accept your donations directly.
No one can change what happened,
but we can all change what happens next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To play professional volleyball, you better be in great shape. To play at age 41, you better be in the best shape of your life. How do I do it? Bowflex.
Introducing the all-new Bowflex Extreme 2.
I've been on this machine for 6 weeks and packed 12 pounds of muscle onto my frame. If I'm out slamming it with 20-somethings, I need the kind of shape that only comes from strength training with Bowflex. I got pumped arms, ripped abs, and legs of steel.
Change your body in one easy 20-minute workout, done just 3 times a week.
If you want real results real fast, you need a real Bowflex.
Call right now for this free DVD or order directly from Bowflex for only $25 a month.
I'm 41 years old, and I'm in the best shape of my life.
This telecast is copyrighted by the Arena Football League for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the AFL's consent is strictly prohibited.
The AFL says it is all about the fans, and they practice what they preach. After the games here in Chicago, a mix and mingle. The fans and the players can get together. There's autographs. If you want to have a hot dog with the players afterwards, or a beverage, you're welcome to stick around and do that. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I know the players would like to be fed a hot dog on the field after the game.
Maybe several.
And they sign autographs. I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, fans come out here and they get very close relationships with these players, and they follow them wholeheartedly throughout the season.
Orlando's got a great thing going. They're calling it the ultimate tailgate, where when they're on the road going to, for example, New Orleans, which is not a bad little city to go and visit, you not only go to the game on a charter, but you get a sit-down meal with Coach Jay Gruden, and then you're all back on the plane with the players afterwards. That's a pretty good mix and mingle.
That's a pretty good pitch when you can go travel with the team and be a part of the group going out there. It'd be a lot of fun.
Orlando in the dark uniforms, and Chicago back to receive this kick to open the second half. On to Molden, hoping it'll come down for him. He's going to grab it and go. And not go very far. On to Molden. Has been involved both offensively and defensively. A lot of people know him for the offense first.
Well, he's really a good receiver. He's got good hands, good ability, good body, good size out there, and he's a good target for Phil Yaw to throw the football to. And it's your old hairstyle, Josh.
That is the Greg Brady vintage look. I did have that back when I had hair. Drilled and completed to McDaniel. And what a step-up night Jeremy McDaniel is having. Third-year man out of Arizona, 6-yard gain.
I think he's answered the bell pretty well, doing a good job. Downhill, high motion, and Phil Yaw throws it to him on time. And when you have cushion by the middle safety, in that case, it's Mason. Little stop right there. We call them stack routes in the Arena Football League.
Phil Yaw, 13 out of 20.
Go.
Molden and Doster with a little bit of help from the always aggressive Damon Mason, who is physical to the point of self-destruction sometimes, Gary. Countless times they've got to help him off the field woozily after one of those bone-rattling hits.
He's a tackler. He's a big hitter out there, and so whenever you want to get to the football, Damon Mason's usually going to be around it, and going to bring some friends there. Doster and Mason finishing the hit off.
You almost get the sense that Mason's saying to himself, oh good, Doster can't bring him down. I get to help.
Go.
Inside a handoff. McMillan had a career year at the age of 34 last year. And Mason, who's also in his 30s now, again, as strong as ever. You mentioned it, second in the league in tackles.
Well, he's a big player back there. He gets to the football, been at it a long time. He's a great master of his trade, and I think he and Kenny McIntyre, who's got a lot of interceptions, they call him the glove because he's got great hands back there. He's a guy that makes a lot of plays. The two of them might be the best defensive specialist tandem in the league.
Go.
Looking for Shaw. And did he get it? Yes, he did.
Well, second down throw here to Shaw on the outside. Good job by Raymond Phil Yaw, just watching the defense unfold and then picking out the open receiver. He knows where his receivers are going, and he's got leverage on Kenny McIntyre. Good throw for Shaw on the outside.
15-yard pickup, and Russell Shaw, who was on that national title team in Michigan, catching balls from Brian Greasy in 1997.
Go.
Shaw, the man in motion. But instead they slip it to McDaniel.
Lost the
ball at the pylon, and Orlando's going to grab it. Wow, what a turn right there. McDaniel had eyes for the end zone, but he left the ball at the 1-yard line.
I'm not sure the ball got in across the end line. If it does, it's a touchdown. But it looked like the defense pulled it out and left it right on the 1-yard line. They're going to sort this out there.
Looked like he jammed it right into the pylon.
Well, you're going to have to watch it right on the right side of your screen. McDaniels got the ball on his left arm. It came out. It came out. He did not get to the end line. That's a good job by number 28, Kenny McIntyre, coming to the football and making something happen there, causing a fumble for that Predator defense. And be surprised if they give him a score here at all. That's certainly at the 1-2 yard line. Easily not in the end zone.
Yep, it's going to be Orlando ball. And some pushing and shoving. Reggie Doster is getting in the face of one of the Chicago players. Looked like Don McCall.
Well, that was a chance for Chicago to go up on a score on the Orlando team, but Jay Gruden's football team answered, and they pulled that ball out of there. Now they've got a chance to get on top in this game.
Well, that's one that you've got to kind of put a little asterisk by and go back to later in the game. If Chicago's in dire straits later, you'll go back and take a look at that.
Well, that ball, it was coming out of there. Who was on the tackle underneath there? Was that Doster or we had Kenny McIntyre coming on top?
Now Frizzell able to slip a tackle, get across the game. If McCall.
Well, that was a chance for Chicago to go up on a score on the Orlando team, but Jay Gruden's football team answered, and they pulled that ball out of there. Now they've got a chance to get on top in this game.
Well, that's one that you've got to kind of put a little asterisk by and go back to later in the game. If Chicago's in dire straits later, you'll go back and take a look at that.
Well, that ball, it was coming out of there. Who was on the tackle underneath there? Was that Doster or we had Kenny McIntyre coming on top?
Now Frizzell able to slip a tackle, get across the 15 to the 18-yard line. Drilled in there to Michael Brown. That's remarkable. 11 picks for scores, couple of onside kickoff returns for scores. That ball drilled in.
Football team. So Jay Gruden now turns it over to Joe Hamilton, and Joe Hamilton's got this team marching right now, Josh, and going with a quick count there, trying to do something here.
Hamilton spins, Hamilton down.
Well, that was tremendous coverage in the secondary. Nobody was open, so Joe Hamilton had nowhere to throw that football, and credit the rush defensive front there with a great job of coming around and putting pressure on Joe Hamilton. You see on the bottom here, Moyer, number 99, forcing Hamilton to step up in the pocket. And then your fullback linebacker, Big Bob McMillan, does a good job finishing him off.
The Chicago pass rush, again, that's a big part of what they do. I guess in any football, indoor, outdoor, any level, it's all about your line plays sometimes.
It really is. It's physical football. Who wins the battles up front usually has a big, big factor in the ballgame.
Hamilton got some time and got it away, completed it. That's Justin Skaggs.
Yeah, Justin Skaggs doing a good job making something happen there, going on Jeroy Johnson. Got some separation, come back to the football. Good throw that time by Joe Hamilton. That's a big first down. You know, you're on third down. Your defense, you want to get them to fourth down so you can get a stop, but that's not the case because good conversion there by the Predators. Third down and picks up that first.
Johnson still trying to guard Skaggs. 5-on-5, if you will, the uniform numbers. The corners do play a lot tighter indoors than they do in the NFL, you'll find, for the most part. Flag down. Hamilton drilled as he gets it away. Frizzell has it. And it's a touchdown, pending the outcome of the flags.
Joe Hamilton using the hard count at the line of scrimmage, going on a hard 2 or 3. I can hear him barking all the way up here to the top of the arena where we're at, and it definitely pulled that defensive line across the line of scrimmage, and I think this might go against that Chicago defense.
Boy, Hamilton paid the price because Moyer was right up on his stuff right there. Yeah, this is going to go against Chicago, which will obviously be declined. And Frizzell has his first touchdown in the AFL.
Multiple penalties against the defense, and nonetheless, that was a great throw and a great route by Frizzell to get separation into the end zone and make a heck of a catch on the ball.
Well, back and forth these teams go, trading touchdowns. It is now Gowans on for the extra point. And it's right there. Jimmy Frizzell with the touchdown reception. 24-21 Predators.
Hey, did y'all know that Aaron's is having a sale? It's a dandy. They got they got a whole bunch of big screen. They got washers and dry. Hey, y'all better get down here fast.
No wonder everything's disappearing so fast. Do the math. Aaron's guarantees the lowest prices, like on this high-definition big screen TV monitor, and you're pre-approved.
That's not all. Aaron's has furniture, like these Hey, the recliner was supposed to disappear, not me.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight.
Target identified.
Element search for Hotel Victor Tango 2 and 8. Execute assault time now.
Jeff Friedman here with Jimmy Frizzell. And Jimmy, you talk about what it's like to score your first Arena Football League touchdown.
Well, I mean, it feels great. I hope this is the first of many. I was excited, but this is a close game, and every catch is going to count.
Tell me about the play. What was going through your mind?
Just a post route and, man coverage gives me all the room on the far side, and Joe just put the ball out there and let me go get it.
And you're changing position to offensive specialist. What is that like?
Well, I was always an offensive player, so that's not as bad. Now, if I went defensive specialist, that could be a little tough, but I like it. Get some balls, back in my groove. Can't ask for anything else.
Well, Jimmy, congratulations on your first AFL touchdown.
Thank you.
Josh and Gary, back to you.
All right, Jeff, thanks. Jimmy Frizzell, very humble. He's from Lakeland, Florida. Went to Ray Lewis's high school. Look at this. Up in the air. That's a live ball. It squibs free, and Orlando's got it.
Great job by Orlando trying to take some momentum in this football game. You put points on the board, and then it's an aggressive move to use the onside kick as a weapon to get the ball back, and I think Orlando's going to have a chance to put their offense back out there on the field again. They certainly recovered his football, but I think the flags are going to come in after the fumble recovery here, or excuse me, the onside kick recovery.
There are a couple of punches that absolutely were landed right there. Colin Grocek was in the middle of it. And the officials needing to sort this out with 8:49 left third quarter.
Yeah, but I like the strategy. I like Jay Gruden. Now we got another flag. The referee's throwing the flag up there. He doesn't like what he's hearing on the field. But like I said, I like the strategy by Jay Gruden, being aggressive on the road here in Chicago. You just put points on the board. Go ahead and use an onside kick. Hey, if they recover what Chicago does, put your defense out there. They're playing pretty well. You got to have faith in them that they'll stop them in the red zone. But conversely here, if you get that football back, you have a chance to put separation on the board with some more points, and I think that's what he's looking at.
Then we have a dead ball, personal foul on number 52, Chicago. That penalty will be forced 10 yards. We also have a sideline warning on Chicago. First down, Orlando.
It was Grocek who was assessed the personal foul. Check out this perfectly executed onside kick.
Well, it bounces up very well, and you can see the rush players. There's some space there in between the front line and the second line, and Orlando, this is what you call a surprise onside. Did a nice job of surprising the rush return team, and there you see the fracas after the recovery.
Orlando's kicking game, of all things, has been a factor in this game. It's been a killer for them this year at times. But Brian McGowan is out of Northwestern, coming back to Chicago. Has been very strong. Frizzell, another catch. He's getting caught at as he gets to the 13.
Well, Joe Hamilton, he's only 5'10", so he's got bodies in front of him, and there was a hand up right in his face, and I think this ball actually might have been tipped a little bit as he tries to throw it to Frizzell. You see the linebacker jump up there and get that. That's Bob McMillan. Might have gotten a piece of it, but a good job of bringing the ball in. A little off timing there, but Frizzell hauls that ball in.
Again, Frizzell is in just to, in the words of Jay Gruden, shake things up. Little slant right here, and he's got Justin Skaggs.
Well, I think Jay Gruden challenged his football team after their poor performance last week against the Dallas Desperados. They didn't play well in any phase of the football game, offense, defense, special teams. They got banged up a little bit. He made some changes with his lineup, and one of the things that I know we didn't want to see happen was Corey Fleming go on injured reserve for 2 weeks. But if they could come in here to Chicago and get a victory without Corey Fleming in the lineup, hey, that would speak volumes for their football team. Hey, they've got a tough stretch of games coming up ahead of them, and they're going to want all their weapons available to them.
Moye Moore hauled down at the 3.
Moye Moore is a good story. He tore up his knee last year in the 12th game of the season, and really surprised that he's back this soon after an injury that tore his kneecap off the socket and also tore a couple of his ACL and his MCL, and back recovered. And they like what he brings from a fullback spot because he's got speed to the edge, and you saw him there with a quick pitch to the outside. Moye Moore is a fullback they think has got a lot of upside.
Jay Gruden telling us that if healthy, he could be the best fullback linebacker combo in this league, and there's some good ones. 2nd and goal. Handoff, Brown shifting short of the end zone. There's another guy that was slowed by injuries with Orlando last year.
Well, I know there's pride in this city for defense. There's another football team that played prideful, and I think that there's no difference here with the Chicago Rush football team and their defense. There's pride. When you get inside the 5-yard line, you want to make it as tough as possible for the offense to operate and put the ball in the end zone. So this is a huge 3rd down here for the Rush. They need to turn the Predators away and force them to kick a field goal.
It's such a small field to begin with, but man, it feels like it's closing in on you, I bet, when you're operating from the 2 with an 8-yard end zone. Frizzell got it in that end zone.
Nice call by Jay Gruden on the quick screen here, the bubble screen to Frizzell. Got his wide receivers out there blocking, get it to Frizzell behind him, and they get enough room for Jimmy Frizzell to get around the end line and get in the end zone.
Frizzell earlier in the quarter, his first AFL touchdown, then the onside kick recovery, and now touchdown number 2 for Frizzell.
Frizzell on the outside there. We've got a Rush player down on the back foot there. I think it's Jeroy Johnson. He's getting up though. That's good news for him.
Jimmy Frizzell, I think in many ways, looks to be a similar player to Travis McGriff, the AFL's version of Wayne Corbett. Little guy, but fearless.
Got a good number if he's going to be a Corbett
yeah,
like.
That's exactly right.
He's right there.
Orlando with the extra point pending, already up by 9.
You know, is Jeff Friedman a good luck piece?
Apparently.
Jeff Friedman talks to people and they do well.
Jeff Friedman is the opposite of the SI cover jinx, apparently.
Talk to Frizzell, and he goes out there and does nothing less but score another touchdown.
Have Jeff come up here. You and I can go looking for wallets out there in the parking lot. Gowans, the former Northwestern Wildcat, he's excited to be back home. Evanston just about 15-20 miles from here. Trying to make it a 31-21 game, and he does. So here's Orlando. They had been down at a halftime, but now they are sailing in the 3rd quarter, 31-21.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
Thank you for calling ADT Security Services.
I just wanted you to know that security system saved me twice.
You all have given me peace of mind.
I tell everybody I see, get an ADT security system.
Like these customers and millions more, you'll feel more secure with ADT in your home. ADT helps protect your family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And you may save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. ADT, always.
AFL football continuing from Allstate Arena here in suburban Chicago, along with Jeff Friedman and Gary Reasons. Josh Lewin is following a key fumble right at the 1-yard line. by Jeremy McDaniel of Chicago. Orlando has marched on down, scored a couple of touchdowns. Suddenly it's a 31-21 game.
Yeah, and Jay Gruden elected to go for that onside kick after that touchdown, so got that ball back and took it down the field again. So a lot of momentum change here in this football game, and right now it's going the Predators' way.
Orlando, the only team in AFL history with winning seasons 13 years in a row. They're gunning for number 14. Trying to get out to a 4-1 start this year. They're playing in what is probably the toughest division, Gary. The South overall is 12-7. Got a bunch of teams looking at 3-1 right now. Off the net. Boy, Molden almost broke it. It comes loose. The kicker recovers for Orlando, and what a nightmare here in the third quarter for Chicago.
Well, turnovers, you can't put the ball on the ground, especially in the kick game, because these things really can come back and backfire against you. And Chicago making mistakes that they normally don't make, and Molden dropping that ball here now. The Predators have a chance to put a third score in a row. Looks like it's going to be a decent return, but watch the ball get stripped right there when contact comes in, and going to come around the midfield, and Gowan's right there to pick it up.
Special teams suddenly a strength for Orlando tonight. Hamilton and Brazil able to reel it in.
Well, what a nice route that time. You've got Jerry and James on a little stop route, and then the flag or corner route here by Frizzell, who's on the inside track. Good job of running the defensive players across each other, and Frizzell on the outside. Joe Hamilton, he is throwing the ball exceptionally well tonight. Had some trouble last week, I thought, but he's doing a good job here delivering the ball. And Frizzell, he has answered the bell when he's had to go out there in place of Henry Douglas. Has been very, very productive for this Orlando team, and pretty good spark here by that young man.
His 5th catch of the night, and Hamilton wants time here on 1st and goal from the 9.
Yeah, he had his play clock running down, so he elected to take the timeout here.
A lot of things, though, are going perfectly for these Orlando Predators right now. The fact that they've got to burn a timeout, just a little tiptoe through the tulips. They're up 31-21. A tough place to win here in Chicago.
Chicago Rush, Mike Hohensee. Coach, what does your team need to do to turn this around?
We need to hang on to the football and execute. You know, we need a big stop right here, though.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Josh and Gary, back to you.
Well, the turnovers are key in this football game. Putting balls on the ground are really what's given Orlando the momentum in this game. And now you need your defense, as he's talking about, to make a stand and get a stop, which is what we call it here. And they have to come up and make a play.
Mike Hohensee, who just turned 44 3 days ago, might be turning about 48 by the time this quarter is done, the way it's gone. Wow. And some power to get into the end zone. Boy, you know, we heard about Marlon Moye more.
Look at that knee.
We hadn't seen him, though, yet this year. He's back.
Well, he's back. He's powerful. He's talking to him. He's rubbing that knee in the end zone because he wants everybody in the Arena Football League to know that Moye Moore is back, and there is no problem with that knee. Might be a little magic in it there. The Predators, they have come out and played exceptionally well here in this third quarter.
Yep, that's exactly what he's saying with that pantomime. The knee is A-OK. And the extra point's not bad either.
Well, it all starts up front in Arena Football. Your offensive line has to do things for you to get the ball running. Watch the offensive line get a little separation there, and there's a missed tackle. Moyer around the outside cannot make the play, and Moye Moore doing a good job just banging it right in there and powerful through that inline.
Do you think, Gary, the way Orlando was manhandled by Dallas on both sides of the ball last week, was that enough of a wake-up call for this line to be doing what they're doing tonight?
You take a look at the coaches on the staff. You have Jay Gruden, you know, an experienced coach, and you've got Brett Muncie, defense coordinator, and Willie Fears, their offensive defensive line coach. They really worked hard this week.
Jeff, what you got?
Josh, I'm here with Marlon Moye Moore, who just scored a touchdown after coming off injured reserve. And Marlon, how does it feel to be back?
I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. I got to thank Jesus Christ, though, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He's blessed my knee, Sports Pacific Rehab Center, blessed my knee and helped me to get better. And, hey, I'm just happy to be a Predator, that's all.
Trainer said it would take 10 to 12 weeks. How'd you get back so soon?
Hey, it was hard work, you know, but it was the blessings of God. Don't forget that. Don't ever forget that. It was the blessings of God.
Did you expect to score a touchdown your first game back?
Well, I expect to score every time I touch the ball. That's it, you know, that's the type of runner I am. But I got to thank God now. Don't forget about it. Don't forget about him.
Jay Gruden said that you could be the best two-way player in the Arena Football League. How do you get that type of respect from your coach?
Well, you know, he gave me the opportunities to run the ball, so I got to thank him for giving me the opportunity to be the best two-way. So,
Marlon, congratulations on the touchdown and being back.
Thank you.
Josh and Gary.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And here's another chance to hang on to the football. Flags are down. Then you go back to Marlon Moore. He played his college football at Maryland, Gary, and he was a linebacker. This whole blasting up the middle, carrying the ball thing is kind of new.
That's kind of new and fun for him, but he's got speed. That's what they like. He's got a burst. He's powerful enough to be a good blocker from the linebackers, the fullback spot that you have to do in this league because you got some huge guys rushing. They'll be defensive linebackers, fullback linebackers that are 6'3", 280, 290 coming at you, and he can pick them up, and he does a good job with it. So I know that Jay Gruden is pleased with his play. They've got a trio of fullback linebackers on that team that are pretty darn good.
Well, meantime, this has not exactly been a clip and save third quarter for the Chicago Rush. Phil Yaw, it seems like, hadn't been on the field in about half an hour.
Yeah, this isn't the third quarter that you want to put on the tape to show you as a highlight reel because they've done some things uncharacteristic of a Mike Hohensee football team, and they've been putting the ball on the ground. So Mike, when he talked to Jeff Friedman, said, hey, we've got to hold on to the football, and we have to execute. That's what they've got to do now with Phil Yaw at the helm at the quarterback spot. Execute with your receivers.
Now they've got to burn a timeout because the play clock was down to 1. And things just continue to melt for Chicago here at home.
It's just momentum. They just need to get back on track and just kind of slow things down again and then make a play. If it's a long drive, go ahead and take the drive. But if you can strike pretty quickly, you can gain that momentum back. Hey, the pendulum swings in arena football very, very quickly. We saw the kicks in this game, balls going off the iron. Hey, if you score a touchdown, you can do an onside kick or kick one off the iron, and it can turn right back for you.
And Chicago is in a division that is not like the South. We were discussing where Orlando is, and 12-7 in the Southern Division, but look where Chicago out of that Central at a combined 5-10 there.
I tell you, it's a tough road to hoe in the Southern Division. You got 3 teams at 3-1, and they're right now playing the best football. Look at the New Orleans Voodoo. They are really surprising some people this year with what they've been able to do, going 3-1 so far.
Phil Yaw completes it to Molden at the 15-yard line. Not quite enough for the first down.
That play took a long time to develop. Molden was on the near side of the field, going all the way across the field. You see him there crossing behind the linebackers, and good job of Phil Yaw finally seeing him. I think he's looking to look down the field, but good job in the secondary by the Predators taking away the big throw and making him throw it underneath.
Orlando always very proud of its defense. You know, in the 19-year history of this league, Gary, there's only been one shutout, and Orlando pitched it back in 1992, 50-0 against San Antonio. It helped that the Express kicker missed 6 field goals in that game, but still, there's only been one shutout, and Orlando can claim it.
Well, that's a huge accomplishment. Anytime you can, one, get a stop in this league or something, but to shut somebody out completely in a football game on a short field like this, because kicker can pretty much kick it from anywhere on the field.
Last week in AFL play, Gary, we saw games of 71-69, 74-69, and 73-61. Shaw in motion. Phil Yaw, and then it hit the official. It hit the head linesman.
Right in the temple, Josh. I think it hit him, and he went down. That is a ball that was thrown right on the sideline, and the line judge who was there officiating, looking inside, the ball clipped him right underneath the cap.
Neil Brunner helped up, yeah.
You know, these officials, they're out here in a very fast, violent sport, and they don't have any protection on, and things happen very quickly, and they can't even adjust. They're trying to concentrate. Watch the line judge on the far side when the ball is delivered. You'll see he's concentrating on the field and not really watching the football, but it hits him right square on the temple. He's trying to get the ball outside to Justin Skaggs. Falls a little short, and I'm glad to see that man get up.
Glad he's got a sense of humor about it.
Well, he's smart enough to even change the rubber band, change the down on there. He's still clicking. Nothing wrong there.
Now, and he didn't just tell us it's 7th down now either. Deflected. Shaw could not hold it. And another flag coming in real late.
a head-to-head hit here is probably what it's going to be. Going to be leading with the head, but the defense here and the fumble recoveries by Orlando, the caused fumbles, I think have been key in this football game for them. A chance to do things. A couple of plays here consecutive where Orlando got the ball back after turnovers and put points on the board.
Yeah, this penalty going against Orlando. It has been a penalty-filled game, no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of flags out there, and almost enough to carpet a house, don't you think?
Let's go high, he's right, Luke. 60-stop wing post. Someone ready?
60-stop wing post.
And you're blocking it.
Well, this is going to be a quick little hitter here.
Now he's got his man. That is McDaniel.
And McDaniel was on the stop route on the far side, so Philyaw gets it down to the stop route on the 60-stop wing post.
Damon Mason says, how do you do in the first row?
Well, you get up close and personal with these players. I told you, it's an intimate setting here when you come to watch an Arena Football League game, and you never know when you can have a surprise visitor come sit in your lap. Watch number 2 here said, hey, I need to go up and visit one of my fans. Now, if you get a football in the stands, you get to keep it. Do you get to keep players? Do you bring players home?
Oh, footballs, yes. Actual entire football players, no. Philyaw. And a drop by McDaniel, who was wrapped up by Mason. The fans wanted an early hit.
Well, Mason,
hey, how can you call it on Mason? He just patted that guy on the head like it's the Benny Hill show.
Well, he didn't want him to leave. He wanted to sit down and watch the rest of the game with him. But he's got to go back to work, and he makes a nice play on that ball. On the next play, goes out there and does his business in the middle of the field. Nothing really fazed him.
Oh, one, ready? Right. Go! Run!
Stagg.
Golden. Right over the middle, and as you say, Gary, in this game, that pendulum can swing back quickly.
Well, Kenny McIntyre got his feet tangled up, and he fell to the ground, so that left the best receiver on the team for Chicago Rush wide open to Molden in the middle of the end zone, and good score that time by the Rush. Bringing the ball down the field and get the momentum going back your way. Definitely not out of this football game.
Molden reels it in. His 9th touchdown to catch of the year. Also has a couple running. Gisbert for the extra point. And he sneaks it inside that right upright. And that is the end of the third quarter. Nothing happened right for Chicago for a while. Right at the end, though, they get a little bit back, 38-28.
The greatest source of America's generosity is the good heart of the people.
In the aftermath of the devastating tsunami, we come to you not as presidents, but as 2 private citizens.
Everyone can help, and every dollar contributed will impact someone's life. So visit usafreedomcorps.gov to choose a reputable, authorized charity to accept your donations directly.
No one can change what happened,
but we can all change what happens next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Many of the designer suits that we sell for $200 are made with the same quality and care as those that others sell for twice as much. Need a suit? Men's Warehouse. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
The road is calling, baby. Our destination, only the best in college hoops across Florida. It's the season of 100 stops, including 40 statewide matchups, and no other network comes close. So whether it's Knights, Noles, Canes, or Gators, this trip has it all. Hoops on Sunsport, presented by Metro PCS. Wednesday, it's Florida at Georgia.
Without sports, what would we talk about? Luckily, we have Sports Talk Live. Get updated on this week's top stories. hear the experts break down the topics, and interact live online with every show.
Sports Talk Live, Monday at 7 on Sun Sports.
Now you're talking, Florida.
The AFL presented by Champ Sports, where you can get all your team's official Arena Football League merchandise. Champ Sports, where sport lives. By Las Vegas, home of Arena Bowl 19, Sunday, June 12th. And by the United States Army, an army of one. 38-28 Orlando. Here in Chicago, we go to Jeff Friedman.
Thanks, Josh. I'm here with the founder of the Arena Football League, Jim Foster. Talk about your decision to create this great brand of football.
I don't know if it was a decision. I was promotion manager of the National Football League in New York. February 11th, 1981, I go down to Madison Square Garden with a colleague from the NFL to watch indoor soccer for the first time, and I'm looking at that grass plastic turf and said, you know, I bet you can play football indoors. He said, how would you do it? Pulled a 9x12 manila envelope out of my briefcase, full of press clippings on the Iowa Hawkeye basketball team with Lew Olson. Drew the outline of a hockey rink, started making notes, and pretty much what's on the back of that envelope is what you see here tonight. The rebound nets, the walls, single platoon football. It's amazing what could come off the back of an envelope, and here we are almost 20 years later.
And you told me you have a copy of that envelope here with you tonight.
Yeah, I do. We keep a copy in a briefcase because, a lot of times people want to see it. The real one's locked up in the Hall of Fame vault for safekeeping. We bring that out once in a while. And, this is where the first game was ever played, is right here on this field. So it's kind of a special place to be back here. It was the Rosemont Horizon. The Chicago Bruisers played the Miami Vice. And the Bruisers won in front of about 9,000 people in the middle of February, about this time of the year. And we got a contract with ESPN TV to get it off the ground, and started then that summer of '87. And, of course, it's been going ever since and growing.
You were, of course, the original commissioner of the AFL. Talk about the decision to come back and be a managing partner of two teams.
Well, I always wanted to own a team, and I was 6 years as commissioner, and then I started the Iowa Barnstormers. I had a young fellow named Kurt Warner play for me. We had a really great team out there in Des Moines, Iowa. And then I also started to help start the second league, AF2, which is a really great media market league in places like Memphis and all over the country. And we were actually have the team called the Steamwitters out in the Quad Cities, just west here. We've won 2 championships. We're the winningest team in that league.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Jim, and thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you much. Bye-bye.
That's Jim Foster. Josh and Gary, back to you.
All right, ready for action here in the fourth quarter, 38-28. And Chicago, what do? Do you maybe onside one here?
Well, they've got the Predator kick return team here. They're expecting an onside kick here from Chicago because I think they're going to need to do that here early in this football game to get back into it.
Once ago, and shows what the announcers know. Brazil reels it in.
Well, they were lined up for it. We're just calling what we see.
You got a guy here in Mike Hohensee tonight, the Chicago coach. We talk about the history of the AFL, the official first touchdown pass in AFL history. If you want to win a nickel from your buddy, the AFL's Neil Armstrong was Mike Hohensee. He threw that very first AFL touchdown pass.
He's been at it a long time, 19 years affiliated with this league, and Mike Hohensee had a lot of success as a coach as well.
Brett Cooper reels one in for the first time. Boy, he's been around, huh? Tampa Bay, Memphis, San Jose, Buffalo, Georgia. Now a second stint with Orlando. This league is replete with guys that have shown you for more than just a few years that they know what they're doing in this game.
There's a lot of guys that are made for this game, and they stay with it, and they've been at it a decade or more. It's made for a lot of players, a lot of athletes, and they're very special in their craft.
Moye Moore hurdled a potential tackler and continues to show off the moves tonight. The knee is holding up okay.
I think he's holding up okay and having fun out there as well. He's breaking a tackle at the line of scrimmage. If you break that first tackle at the line of scrimmage, you have a chance to get into the second realm of the defense, and then he jumps over his offensive tight end there and a little hurdle job. And Moyer doing a good job tracking him down, but that's a good run there for.
Well, you know what?
Linebacker.
What's scary about that, though, Gary, the injury was a non-contact injury. It was trying to hurdle a man against the Dallas Desperados. They put him on the shelf to begin with. Boom! What a hit on Frizzell by Jeroy Johnson.
Well, Frizzell was exposed. His arms were up in the air, and he went up slightly, and Jeroy Johnson coming downhill makes a nice contact play here on the sidewall. And Again, this is a pretty good throw here by Joe Hamilton, doing a good job getting it out there. And listen to this one, folks.
Frizzell is turning into the little AFL Wayne Corbett here with that number 80. He's fearless.
Yeah, he might be a little taller than Wayne.
I might be a little taller than Wayne. Again, Frizzell, the man in motion. Looking for him. Flag down, and the pass drops.
Gonna have defensive interference here at the 5-yard line against number 5 again. Well, Jeroy Johnson. That was a great route by Frizzell, coming up and stemming to the outside, then coming across the face of number 5, Jeroy Johnson, and getting. Watch the move here. Watch your high motion man come down. That is Frizzell. He's going to go right up on the free safety, the middle safety, and put a couple of moves on him and try to break away. And has to hold him there, or the touchdown is going to be caught.
You are correct to point, Mr. Frizzell.
First down, ready?
A little post corner action here.
Hamilton hit as he throws. It's up there for Shaw. And the first interception of the game.
Well, when you're a second-year quarterback in the Arena Football League, this is a throw that you have to understand you cannot make, because you put your offense and your football team in a predicament that you can't win. You're under duress. You cannot deliver the football. Joe Hamilton can hold this ball. He shouldn't try to make a throw. The secondary is too good athletes. They're both two-way players, and whenever you throw that back there, bad things can happen. It certainly does. Huge play here for Chicago, pulling that ball in, and Russell Shaw with a nice interception.
Shaw is playing some terrific defense. Of course, the offense gets a lot more attention, but Gary, he has said that his goal is 1 interception per game. Well, he's achieved his goal tonight.
Well, that's pretty good numbers to keep up with that.
Philyaw has to scramble, a flag down at midfield.
Well, you saw what Philyaw did. He thought about throwing the football, but he just saw Joe Hamilton make that same mistake.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, it's better to take the sack and go down instead of throwing the ball potentially for an interception. Look at the pressure here by Orlando. Good move on the center there.
And the penalty is on Orlando.
Yeah, that was Buck Gurley doing a good job getting around the center and putting pressure on Philyaw. They've got some pass rushers on that football team. E.J. Burt, number 96, plays it outside defensive end rush spot. He's got a pretty good motor. You just saw Buck Gurley do it inside. So this Orlando team is kind of blessed with some pass rushers with speed and ability.
On 1st and 10, Philyaw stands and delivers. Picked off. It's Mason. And he'll thread his way this way. Back-to-back interceptions. The two teams trade them.
Well, he was playing on the high shoulder on the top side of the receiver, and then he comes right across and the ball is thrown. Damon Mason doing a nice job here. Philyaw's got a little pressure on him there. He has to step up in the pocket, but watch the break here by Mason over the top. That's an excellent job from the defensive specialist position in the middle of the field and making a heck of an interception here for the Predators.
Philyaw has now been picked off more this year than he was all of last year, Gary. This is only week 5. Remember, Philyaw holds an AFL record. He once went 299 passes without a pick. But this year, 5 times. Last year, only 4.
Well, last year, the Chicago Rush football team was plus 15 in turnovers. This year, coming into this game,
overthrown here looking for Cooper.
Yeah, they were -2 coming into this game as far as the turnover margin. So things not going the way you'd like to for that football team. Well, that's what you got to take in this league. You got to stand there and throw the football and take your medicine. And Joe Hamilton took a lot of it last week. About 20 times, Jay Gruden told me that he was knocked on the ground last week in that Dallas football game, and 4 sacks in that game. So Joe Hamilton's taken pretty good pressure last week and some pretty good shots today.
Orlando went into Dallas 3-0. They left with their tails between their legs. They lost by 14. That ball tipped and incomplete.
Now there wasn't much room for E.J. Burt to run with anyway after he caught the football. Just a play that didn't go anywhere, so now brings up a third down situation here for Orlando.
Now remember, no punting in the AFL, so this is not where you say, okay, you stop him here, you're done. You're not. You still got to get him on fourth. Frizzell in motion. Hamilton looking for him. He's got him! A breakout night for Jimmy Frizzell.
Well, you talked about Frizzell here being a guy very inexperienced. First touchdowns in his league. Now he's got his third touchdown of the night and third for his career in this league. Joe Hamilton finding him again, going across the field and running away from number 5 again, Jeroy Johnson, not able to keep up with him. Jimmy Frizzell having a nice night. And it all starts up front. The offensive line has to give that quarterback a chance to throw the football for that deep route, and they've done a pretty good job of that with Joe Hamilton.
Frizzell in the role of Lou Gehrig, perhaps, and Travis McGriff is Wally Pipp. He gets held out tonight, and I'll tell you what, how do you sit down Frizzell next week?
Well, it's a good situation to have if you're Jay Gruden. You got guys that are production. Remember, arena football is about production. You need a lot of guys to do it. It's a long season, and you got to throw it around the yard.
Welcome to the AFL. Jimmy Frizzell. Orlando 45-28.
Soldiers in the Army Reserve are all around you. They take pride and honor in serving their country, knowing it doesn't mean giving up their civilian life. They further their education and gain the skills and experience that help them succeed every day. Become a soldier in the Army Reserve. It's not your everyday job.
At Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game.
Unbelievable!
It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
Just use 100% of your equity to pay for remodeling your kitchen and your daughter's wedding. Now listen up so you don't get fired.
I told you buying your dream home would be a breeze. Pinnacle Financial, home of the stress less mortgage. Feel the freedom of no documentation. Dial 1-888-CALL-TROY or log on to 888-CALL-TROY.com. And if you need a quick closing, ask about our 12-day express close program. Nice and easy now. You're approved.
Turnovers do lead to points in this indoor game.
Well, interception here. This is just not a smart play by Joe Hamilton, throwing the ball up, and it's intercepted by the Chicago Rush defense. But Phil Yaw is now picked off, and he's picked up by Mason here, and Mason answers for Joe Hamilton, and then this football team puts points on the board after that. So a couple of back-to-back interceptions, but coming out on the good end of that one are the Orlando Predators.
You know, when we talked to Mike Ditka back in the second quarter, he was jonesing for more offense. I think he meant his team, though. It was, what, 14-10 when we talked to the coach. It's now 45-28, and Orlando obviously has done most of the scoring.
Yeah, things have changed in a hurry here. There's no doubt about it. You get the balls have been put on the ground. We talked to Mike Hohensee. He says, hey, the things we have to do, we have to stop putting the ball on the ground, which includes turnovers, and also you have to execute. And they really haven't done that in this third quarter. And now here in the latter part of this football game, they have to execute and get back in a big way.
Jimmy Frizzell activated for this game. His first 9 catches in the AFL and his first 3 touchdowns in the AFL. Molden wrestled down. That was Idris Price with the pursuit.
That's pretty good coverage by Big Price, a big fullback linebacker, right at the 5-yard line or just inside of it. And there's some pushing and shoving going on there.
Once again, it's Grotchek for Chicago. I believe it was Justin Skaggs for Orlando.
And you see the coverage here by Idris Price, the fullback linebacker number 4.
They're going to get Grotchek, I believe, again for a personal foul.
After the play, personal foul on Orlando, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, they get the guy that was harassing Grotchek instead.
And that's going to go against Justin Skaggs, number 5. So Chicago, they've got to execute now. They've got to put some points up on the board and put them up there consistently, and they need some stops. They need their defense to answer. You either get a half stop or you get some field goals attempted in this football game. So the offense has to execute, which is what Mike Hohensy's talking about, and your defense has to play. And those two things in concert will give you a chance to get back in this game.
Phil Yaw has thrown for 4 touchdowns in this game. Has time. And completes it across the 20. There's a flag down on the far side of the field. After a pickup of 6.
We're kind of used to seeing those flags out there. Phil Yaw throwing the ball back to the left side, moving nicely in the pocket, gets it out there to Molden.
Each team has been penalized 9 times.
Penalty from the previous spot.
Now make Orlando penalized a 10th time. They have been kind of the Oakland Raiders of the AFL in recent years. They tend to pile up some penalties.
Well, penalty yards in any football game, these coaches will tell you, hey, anytime you give up penalty yards, it's unnecessary yards, and it's a short field. So
60 pig S read. I want ready.
60 pig S read. What do you think that one's going to be, Josh?
No, you tell me. That's your job.
It's a 5-step drop, so they're going to throw it down the field.
Go!
Ball's tipped by E.J. Burt.
Yes, it is. Great pursuit by Burt, a guy that's already got 3 sacks this year.
Yeah,
as you check your leaderboard, that puts him pretty close to the top, as a matter of fact.
Well, E.J. Burt, you know, he's got 3 sacks on the season. You saw the pressure there that he gets around on the quarterback, Joe, on Phil Yaw. So a lot of guys, these are the leaders in the AFL this season. Carter with Las Vegas at 5 leads the bunch, but E.J. Burt doing his share here, trying to get pressure there. Didn't get the sack on that play, but hit the ball as Phil Yaw was trying to throw it.
Burt comes from a real Renaissance family, Gary. He's got brothers who are musicians. One's a doctor, one's a chef. He's just out there sacking Raymond Phil Yaw tonight, that's all. And Phil Yaw completes one here to Molden.
Now, Phil Yaw went down in the pocket. It all collapsed on him, and he got up kind of gingerly there.
Now, Phil Yaw, remember, sprained his MCL in that Columbus game last week. Chicago also losing the man that leads the league, or at least led the league in total offense at that point, Henry Douglas.
Yeah, Henry Douglas put up a lot of numbers for this football team, doing a lot of good things, total offensive performer. And
go!
Phil Yaw with time, drills it, touchdown, Molden.
Well, that's the momentum thing you want to get back in your football team. Mike Hohensee takes his troops out there and says, hey, guys, you got to execute. Put it on your quarterback, Raymond Phil Yaw. He finds the 2 Molden in the back of the end zone. I think Kenny McIntyre lost contact with him because there's nobody within 5 yards of him.
And Molden just discards the ball like a used Kleenex.
Now, he's just used to being back there. He's used to making those scores and grab those footballs, and nothing for him to just score a touchdown and drop it on the ground.
There is Gisbert for the point after. So Chicago getting closer with about 5.5 to go. 45-35 in AFL Week 5.
To play professional volleyball, you better be in great shape. To play at age 41, you better be in the best shape of your life. How do I do it? Bowflex.
Introducing the all-new Bowflex Extreme 2.
I've been on this machine for 6 weeks and packed 12 pounds of muscle onto my frame. If I'm out slamming it with 20-somethings, I need the kind of shape that only comes from strength training with Bowflex. I got pumped arms, ripped abs, and legs of steel.
Change your body in one easy 20-minute workout, done just 3 times a week.
If you want real results real fast, You need a real Bowflex.
Call right now for this free DVD or order directly from Bowflex for only $25 a month.
I'm 41 years old, and I'm in the best shape of my life.
Jeff Friedman here with Atu Molden, who just scored a touchdown for the Chicago Rush. Tell me about the play.
Just a play where I think they actually busted the coverage. I did a pretty good move. It would have been man, but I messed around and got in the end zone wide open.
How tough is this defense for Orlando?
I don't think it's so much the defense, just our offense making stupid mistakes. We got 2 fumbles in this half, and what we need right now is really come back in, get some turnovers of our own, and go in there and punch it in.
Thanks a lot, Josh and Gary. Back to you.
All right, Jeff, thanks. Some good plain talk right there from Atu Molden. Couldn't have summed it up any better from up here.
No doubt, a young man in this game, but kind of wise with what he's saying. He understands you got to execute. Now you see Chicago lined up here at the goal line. Looks like they're in onside kick mode, trying to get back in this football game, down 10 points, and they're going to play the short field game with only 5:39 left in this ball game.
Now the Goodhines people are up front for Orlando. They send Brazil back. There it comes, a high chop onside kick. Orlando's got it. And that is the man that they call the glove. Kenny McIntyre was right on that ball.
Well, you try to kick it down on the ground and get a nice high bounce for it so your coverage team can get underneath it, but nobody was able to get there fast enough to put any kind of pressure on Kenny McIntyre, who's a sure-handed defensive specialist for this Orlando football team that comes down with the onside kick return.
And the clock starts to move. The clock becomes a mortal enemy of Chicago right now. Orlando already at the 11. Moye Moore in the backfield, and the handoff goes to him. Able to bust it across the 5. Back to Kenny the Glove McIntyre, 8th-year man out of Kansas State.
The old number 28 back there. He's played a lot of football games, 110 consecutive football games for him, and you know, he's a veteran back there. He's smart. He leads that defense. He and Mason both back there. They do a good job in the secondary for the Predators, and those are guys you rely on, and Jake Gruden relies on them to lead their team, and doing a pretty good job tonight against the Chicago team.
Gruden telling us defense wins, period. I don't care if it's indoor, outdoor. Timeout called here from Joe Hamilton. He saw that clock dripping down on him again.
That's 2 or 3 times now Joe Hamilton's gone up the line of scrimmage, and that play clock is basically expired on him, and he's had to use a couple of timeouts.
We're down to 4:37 left. Orlando up by 10 in Chicago.
What? That was offside. Face mask. First down. Way to go, baby. Oh.
Go for 2. Blitz. Get up.
Timeout. Timeout.
He's all over him. Interference.
Right in his hand. Oh.
So glad I'm not playing anymore.
Touchdown. Yeah.
Every armchair quarterback needs a high-definition widescreen projection TV monitor. Aaron's has a great selection at the guaranteed lowest price.
Game over? Game over? What?
Cobra 6, this is Spectre 6. Target acquired, over. Target identified.
Element search for Hotel Victor Tango 2 and 8. Execute assault time now.
The ADT defensive play of the game. This was a game-changing play.
It really was. I think a big momentum play. It looked like Chicago was going to score. The ball is pulled out. Kenny McIntyre comes up with the fumble. The Predators go down and they score, and they've kept that pressure on Chicago throughout this entire second half. So I think that was a huge play, and it is our ADT defensive play of the game.
Yeah, no question. It was 21-17 Chicago. They were a yard from going up 28-17, but then that fumble right there at the pylon, and everything changed. Brown in motion. Hamilton chased. Stiff arms. There's a flag down. And the ball ends up in the crowd.
Well, we're going to have an illegal rush here by the defense. They decided to go ahead and blitz the cornerback on the play and go on Joe Hamilton, thinking they're going to run the football. You cannot make a rush or watch the defensive cornerback come in and rush. That's an illegal rush here in the Arena Football League.
Lukens from the corner there.
It's not a bad call on the defensive part, because you're thinking they're going to run the football, try to run some time off the clock, and and do some things there. So a lot of defensive coordinators will go ahead and fire that cornerback and try to make a play there at the line of scrimmage.
Clock continues to tick down here in Chicago. Mike Hohense's team, again, kind of a lackluster effort in a loss at Columbus last week. They fumbled on their first possession, then it got worse. Moye Moore stacked up.
Well, that's a good stop by Chicago, but I don't know if they might all let them score here, get a chance to start putting the ball in your hands of your offense here. Jay Gruden probably not too displeased with that, because now he's going to be able to run some time off that clock, and seconds are ticking away here, getting down to 3.5 minutes or so in this football game.
See Luke, 42 ISO on one. Let's get it in there. Hurry up, Mike.
Translation, sir?
Going to run the football here.
Brown is met by Bob McMillan. Well, if you want quick offense, I guess you go to Frizzell.
Well, breakout night for Jimmy Frizzell here. Touchdowns, 3 of them on the night for Jimmy Frizzell. He has shown up huge for this Orlando football team, and Joe Hamilton likes what he sees by this young receiver, that's for sure, and I think Jay Gruden's going to be very pleased with him as well.
Chicago calls time to freeze the clock at 3:18. And Orlando doing a nice job of managing the clock right here. They just keep milking it down. 3rd and 2 when we come back. 45-35.
But for now, sit back and enjoy your flight. Bon Jovi! Elway. What you doing in Vegas, little buddy?
We're gonna be here for the Arena Bowl this June.
You're dreaming.
Why don't we settle this thing right now?
Go for it.
Follow the drive to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas. There's a rumble in the house.
Hit me.
Don't miss the Orlando Predators play against the 2004 Arena Bowl champions, the San Jose SaberCats, Sunday, March the 6th. Tickets start at just $10. $10. Call Ticketmaster or 407-44-PREDS now.
Well, Chicago desperately needing a stop here. 3:18 to go. 45-35 Orlando. 3rd and 2.
I'm over here chewing on a cookie because I need some sugar to get going in this game here. A lot of action here. We've been talking a lot about scoring and plays, and I know it's something right now that Chicago, they need a stop. They'd like a turnover if at all possible.
Got milk?
Need a little of that too.
Flag down. And the clock stops with 3:15 left in regulation.
You know, I love how players just officiate on the field. They stand out there and they start pointing, but it's both teams pointing both the opposite ways. You never really know.
5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Now, is that tragic? I mean, they back up a little bit, but a few more seconds off the clock.
Well, it depends on whose perspective you're looking at it now. It takes a few seconds off the clock. They're not going to start the clock here because of the penalty, so it kind of helps the Chicago Rush. Now, if they get a stop here, at least they'll charge them to.
And Joe Hamilton had to yell at Michael Brown to hurry up, get back in the huddle. Already, Hamilton's been called on a clock violation twice in this game. Unable to fight through was Justin Skaggs.
Well, I think that was good coverage in the secondary. 5-yard line zone, pretty much the hand check there, and he can't get around, and Joe Hamilton wants a penalty because he thinks that there was holding there. But now I think the field goal team's going to come on here for John Gruden's football team. You see Hamilton toss it out there, and the helmet comes off. That's actually a penalty on the defense. Pulls it right off of Joe Hamilton. He's saying, what happened? My helmet went on. I didn't take it off. Somebody took it off for me.
Colin Grotchek continues to be in the middle of about everything tonight for the Rush.
Well, I'm sure the Mike Holmes is going to see that play and say, hey, that could have backfired us in a huge way. At least now their defense is going to get a half stop at least with field goal kicker Gowan's coming out here to attempt a field goal. And if he kicks it off the net, they can return this. And that's what they like to have. So if you're going to gear up to block a kick, and the Rush have blocked kicks over the years, they certainly would get one here to be huge for them.
9 block kicks last year, as a matter of fact, Gare. Already a couple this year. And yeah, this will be a heck of a time to keep it a 10-point game. Gowans has made one, has missed one, leaving Orlando kickers at 1 out of 8 on field goal attempts. This is a 25-yarder. Boy, that's money. 2 for 9 now for the year for Orlando.
Well, it's now a 13-point deficit. It's still a 2-score ball game. So you're going to expect to have Orlando kick the ball off deep here, and then your offense is going to have to execute for Chicago to bring the ball down the field, put points on the board. I think probably kick an onside kick. Now you're at just under 3 minutes to go in this football game. That's an eternity in arena football. You can have a whole lot go on in that time frame. So this game is far from over.
Chicago fired up about having 5 out of 7 games at home starting tonight. They had opened the year with 3 of their first 4 on the road. And in theory, things get easier after this. Their next couple games against Nashville and Grand Rapids. 2 teams that are a combined 1-6. But they're staring down 3-1 Orlando tonight and trailing by 13.
Well, you get into a little bit of a hole. You go down, have 2 wins and 3 losses if Chicago were to lose this football game. And Orlando came out of the chutes pretty quick. The 3-0 start, then they stumbled last week against the Desperados. For them to go 4-1 would really be impressive to come into Chicago and beat this football team. A place where they have not won in a while, that's for sure. Lost the last 2 matchups last year. I know that Jay Gruden really wasn't pleased that the Chicago Rush knocked his football team out of the quarterfinals of the Arena Bowl Playoff Championship Series last year.
59-49 game in that one. Molden will peel it off the net, and here he comes. Brown with the hit.
I think Molden plays with 1 speed. That's full speed and physical play. You know, we saw a couple plays earlier with the play. They played linebacker, make a couple hits, one on one sideline, one on the other. And how about a kick return? All out. Pretty good job by Mike Brown, too. Pretty physical tackle. All right, plenty of time here to operate for Mike Hohensee, this football team. Just got to get things clicking, get Phil Yaw some protection, execute, and throw the ball down the field.
Go!
Hit as he throws. It's almost picked. It was right there for Jerry and James.
Well, there's a whole lot of pressure there up front for the Orlando Predators. He has to step into the pocket there, and Moore, the fullback linebacker, Marlon Moore, number 9, watch on the left side of the screen, the spin move, and he hits it just as he throws it. Jerry and James, the Jack linebacker, staying in the box, almost brings that up, and really mad at himself about not making that interception there. Marlon Moore had a little cramp there trying to get off the field, making a late substitution for him.
Back with the knee problems, having been hurting him for, well, really the last calendar year. The knee has been fine tonight, but yeah, limping off with the cramps right here.
50, as opposed to first down, then we got back to trip. 50 pig on 1, first down.
Billy off, flings it a little too high, and Molden plowed down by Michael Brown anyway. Let's check our U.S. Army Iron Man of the game, Derek.
Well, Russell Shaw is going to be that one. He did a good job here for this football team and got the interception here in this football game, and also did a good job offensively. Caught some balls and got a touchdown in this game. So Russell Shaw is going to be our U.S. Iron Man of the game. But we're going to give an honorable mention to the line judge on the side there. Remember, the guy got hit by the football and went down, but popped right back up. Give an honorable mention, Iron Man, to our head linesman. How's that?
Neil Brunner, congratulations to you too. But Russell Shaw on his 29th birthday, among other gifts I'm sure he'll receive, he gets that Iron Man award here from our crew.
Okay, more importantly here now, it's a 3rd down and long here for Chicago. They've got to execute. They've got to get down to the 22-yard line for a first down.
Yeah. Go!
Clock moving, 90 seconds left. Open man is McDaniel. He's at the 15-yard line as the clock continues to tick. Remember, under a minute in the second and fourth quarters. The clock will stop with every completion.
Well, that's fourth down. You got to execute here. You might as well take a timeout. Get the right play if you need to. This is one of the more critical plays in the game for the rush.
They'll get it off before the 1 minute mark, and here's Philyaw into the crowd.
I don't know why you do that. If you're not getting set up and get ready to go, you throw the ball into the stands. Don't give your team a chance to get there on fourth down and get a first down. So now the ball turns over. It's a defensive stop for the Predators.
And a very disappointing second half for Chicago at home. It's Orlando by 13.
I was cooking dinner and I just fell asleep. But I collapsed. I couldn't call for help. But ADT did. They saved my life.
An ADT monitored fire detector actually signals ADT, so we can call for help. Call now and save over $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. And save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
At Champ Sports, we know that arena football is not a game. It's a lightning fast, up and down, side to side, whiplash-inducing roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Find all the hottest AFL jerseys, caps, shirts, and more at the official athletic retailer of the AFL, Champ Sports, where sport lives.
Orlando came here to Allstate Arena trying to exercise some demons, Gary. They lost twice here last year. One was a pure embarrassment, 58-15. The other one knocked them out of the playoffs. Now here they are, up by 13 with less than a minute to go.
They've done a good job doing it, and now they're trying to run out the clock here under 1 minute. The timing rules are effective. You have to make positive yardage in the 1 minute timing rules on offense to keep the clock running. Otherwise, the defense is going to get a break because the clock will stop if you don't get positive yards. You know, impressive here because they're doing this without their number one receiver, and two-time U.S. Ironman is Corey Fleming.
Yeah, Fleming not here, out with the hamstring. They've got Chris Sanders in there running the show in this final minute. And a pretty effective evening for Joe Hamilton. Going 19 out of 30 for 3 scores tonight. Sanders getting that positive yardage to keep the clock moving. More pushing and shoving out there. This is a well-earned, hard-fought win for Orlando tonight.
Yeah, it really has been a good football game for them. They've done everything they need to. I think the turnovers were key in this game, and the momentum swung with those turnovers, and Chicago never really could gain that momentum back as the Predators just took advantage of it.
They lost 2 games here last year by a combined 53 points. They turn it around and win by 13 tonight.
Yeah, it's fun to come here, Josh. Enjoyed it here with you.
Gary, great job, man.
Chicago.
Oh, hey, any trip to Chicago is fine with me.
I had a chance to catch up with my brother Robert here, so that's always good to see. So enjoyed it here, and a couple of good football teams here. I think you might see these guys towards the end of the season as you look toward the Arena Bowl playoffs. So I think Mike Hohensee and Jake Gruden are quality coaches, and I think you're going to see a lot more of these two teams.
Orlando now 4-1. Mike Ditka told us he wanted to see some offense tonight, but unfortunately for the guy that's the co-owner of the Rush, he came mostly from the Preds.
Well, the Predators did a good job. Every phase of the game, they kind of executed a little bit higher level than the Chicago Rush.
For Gary Reasons and for Jeff Friedman, this is Josh Lewin from suburban Chicago. Again, that final score in AFL Week 5 tonight, Orlando 48 and Chicago 35.